Welcome back, everyone, to Gamestars. Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever in the world you are. Y'all, we have some fantastic matches coming up for you today. Our first match is going to be AC Milan Clash versus AFGM KZ. After that, we're going to have FA Kozaki versus Chernobyl Dribblers. Once again, hope y'all are super hyped. We got some excellent teams in our lineup today. Most importantly, I would say Clash, right? I would say a lot of people here are here today just to watch Clash. It's one of the largest teams that we have in the competition. It's one of the largest teams in this region, just in EU. And here, yeah, once again, a look at our agenda for today. AC Milan Clash versus AFGM KZ, followed by FA Kozaki versus Chernobyl D. So, I mean, right off the bat, I think we got kind of a banger match coming up. Clash versus AFGMKZ. Let's take a look at our bracket, right? So our winners from AC Milan versus Clash, AC Milan Clash versus AFGMKZ. Those are going to be moving on to the winners match. Same with the winner of FA Kozaki versus Chernobyl D. Those teams will be moving on to the winners match, where they will compete for the first spot to qualify for the next stage of the competition. Yeah, and the teams who lose their matches are going to move on to elimination match. That is going to be the third match coming up today, and one of our teams is going to be kicked off of the bracket today. The loser of the first place match is going to be dropped down to a decider match. They're going to face off against the winner of the elimination match. Those decider matches, every single one of them from every single group that we've had in the competition so far, those are going to be played on May 6th. So a lot of people, well, some people are going to have great days. Other people, they're going to have real bad days because they're going to be kicked out of Gamestars competition. Yeah, and actually we have a little message about AC Milan. So let's take a look.
Well, hello, my name is Trevor. I'm 18 years old and I am a player of AQM, of Clash. Okay, so my team is made of Icaos, that is a very fun Spanish guy. He's 18 years old and he's a very good player. Also, there's Guille, that he's also Spanish and a very nice guy, like one of the nicest person I've ever met. And he's 19, well 20, he turned 20 soon. And then there's Linné, that he's from Switzerland, and he's the youngest player in the team and he's super good, super nice, and we speak with him in English because he's the only one of the team who's not Spanish, and he's a very nice guy. With this exact team for like 5 months now, but I played like for a year with Caos and Guille, the two Spanish members of the team. So with Lena and Caos and Guille like for 5 months, but with Caos and Guille like for more than 1 year. So I've played a lot with them. We have always been a team with a very good chemistry between us, with very good communication. And we normally win much more matches than we lose. But I think we are one of the best teams in Europe, so I think that's why people are scared sometimes of playing against us. Well, we're obviously willing to win this tournament, and I'm sure we'll do. Yeah, we normally train and prepare every single match and every single tournament, so yeah, I guess we will prepare this tournament too, and we will see what we will replay, what we will ban, the strategy in every map. So yeah, we work on every tournament. Yeah, so well, I always say that I'm very grateful about the people who cheer for us and are always supporting us. So thanks, and keep doing it, please, because it's really helpful and important for us. Okay, I love you guys, and I'm sure we will win this tournament.
Well, that was an excellent message there from Trevor. Of course, we're talking about one of the most accomplished players on AC Milan Clash's roster. Something that I want to repeat that Trevor said is they prepare for every single match. And I mean, we actually got some, more non-competitive maps coming up in the Gamestars tournament today. And I mean, if AC Milan does their homework like Trevor is saying, then they will have prepared for a lot of I mean, crazy maps that are be coming up in the competition today. I mean, you know, some of the stranger ones. We even saw Purple Paradise yesterday, but we have the bands coming in from AC Milan Clash. It's the Stew band coming in, and then actually interesting from AFG MKZ, they are banning Mortis. Mortis is an interesting ban here, right? Because we only have 2 bans overall, right? And they're both blind bans per team. I'm sure that AFG MKZ was fairly confident that AC Milan was going to ban Stew, right? Just because that's sort of the go-to. Stew is just so powerful in this meta, or just overall, right? On an individual brawler standpoint. Though the Mortis ban, we'll have to see how that comes out in this first map, guys. Set number 1 is going to be played on Snake Shop, and a little bit of foreshadowing for our next sets as well. Set number 2 is going to be on Magnetic Field. Set number 3 on Central Traffic. Then if we get to set number 4 and 5, which, I mean, faced up against AC Milan Clash, I would say AFGM KZ, they really got to fight tooth and nail to get to set number 4 and 5. Those, if they happen, are going to be on Olive Branch and Canal Grand. Yeah, I mean, Snake Shop, definitely a map that favors the throwers. We still have Barley in play, and of course Barley, we've seen a massive uptick in Barley recently. I mean, a 9% range buff is apparently all it takes to propel this brawler to being practically broken. But I mean, I think the Mortis ban, right, is so that, you know, AFG MKZ, they don't get countered on their thrower strat here. It's not really a map, you know, when we talk about Snake Shop, it's not really a map that is played in competitive. You'll see it on ladder, and is definitely one of the more frustrating ones to play because it's just a lot of throwers, and then, you know, maybe there's a thrower counter, and then that just ruins your entire team. It is a bit of rock, paper, scissors, and that is what AFG MKZ, I predict, is trying to eliminate here. They're just trying to get rid of that uncertainty. Though, AC Milan, right, at least Trevor has said in that interview that we watched just a few minutes ago, that they prepare for every single match, they prepare for every single map, and they are very confident that they're going to win the competition today. And I guess overall, I mean, did you hear Trevor? He's like, yeah, we're gonna win. So, I mean, that level of confidence, right, at least coming from a player like Trevor, you know it is actually backed by skill, right, and deep knowledge of the game. He's not just saying that lightly. He's not, you know, like some of the other teams that we saw coming in, they're like, yeah, we're gonna win, right? They think that just by saying they're gonna win and by being confident enough that they can pull out this dub. Trevor, though, pretty level-headed guy. When we talk about Brawl Stars players who are, you know, pretty, I guess, prevalent as individual people in the competitive scene, Trevor's one of them. And, you know, Trevor is a pretty cool and collected guy, and he is definitely, like, acutely aware of his skill level. And Trevor, you know, of course, or just AC Milan Clash in general, I think they're pretty aware that their enemy is not really prepared for what they have coming up. So AC Milan Clash in the open qualifier, because remember, the Gamestars competition, it all started with an open qualifier for lots of different regions. So individual open qualifiers for all of these different regions. AC Milan Clash, they came first place in the second wildcard region. And then AFGM KZ, they came second place in the Kazakhstan region. So we actually saw the #1 Kazakhstan team, or at least the one that came first place in the open qualifiers. They played a few days ago. That was Golden Age. And they actually did bring out a pretty impressive performance compared, or well, you know, just considering who their enemy was. And, you know, we'll get some intel on who that was exactly in just a moment. But unfortunately, they did not actually manage to make it through. They just made it to the decider match, which is going to be played on May 6th. Yeah, they actually did advance to the final for that group, where they faced off against Mood Gaming, which was the #1 team in France. And I mean, when it comes to if it's just a battle of Kazakhstan versus France, I think France is going to pull this one out, just because France is a larger theater for Brawl Stars. You have more competition, and I would say it's more likely that your #1 team is going to be really good. And that's the interesting thing. I mean, of course, I'm an NA guy myself, but EU, since they have more players, they tend to reinforce and bounce off of each other more and more and more. And more competition means more, or I guess more matches means more practice, right? And so EU, at least what we've seen in the competitive sphere, has sort of dominated for a long time. So, I mean, this is a little unrelated, but I am hopeful for NA. But that just, I guess sums up, right, why EU is pretty dominant here, just because they have more players, there's more competition, more likely to have really skilled players, people who just have this innate skill in Brawl Stars, and they also just get more practice, right? More matches to play. I'm sure some people in chat watching, probably a bunch of Clash supporters, since AC Milan Clash is a very popular team, definitely the fan favorite heading into match number 1. So make some noise for your region, make some noise for your favorite team. Clash, I anticipate that they're going to do very, very well in this opening match. And I mean, let's cut to the chase. Clash, they're probably going to win this competition today. We're going to have to see Kazaki and Chernobyl Dribblers. They're really going to have to bring out their best today. Chernobyl Dribblers, let's talk about them actually. They took a number 3 in wildcard number 1. We saw, or wildcard number 1, excuse me. We actually did see the number 1 team in the wildcard number 1 play the other day, and they did like okay. We'll take a look at who exactly that was. Actually, never mind. We haven't seen anyone from wildcard number 1. Bad ready. Excuse me. We did see the number 1 team though from wildcard number 3. That was Sky Blue, and they ended up taking 2nd place yesterday. Yeah, today we're in Group 8. That's a lot of groups. I mean, you have a lot of open qualifiers, a lot of different regions to account for, and so we have a lot of different groups. We're actually up to, we're going to get into Group H next week. So we started with Group A, we're Group E, but it does not end, at least this stage of the competition, doesn't end until we get to Group H. And after this stage of the competition, we move on to yet another elimination. On May 6th, that is when we're going to have all of our eliminations, or I guess all of our deciders. Group H, they're going to play on May 5th. May 6th is going to be all those decider matches. Let's take a look at the tournament so far, though. We've gotten through half of the groups, and now we are on the downward slope as far as the group stage. Take a look at our winners, actually. We see Blood Diamond, they came out on top in Group A. Group B, we had Mood Gaming, they were number 1 in France. And, we had some other fantastic matches. But with that, we are finally going to be heading into our first game in our first set. Take a look at our brawlers. And actually, from AC Milan Clash, we have the Bell coming out. And wow, Lenan, he's running the Bell skin. The one that don't you have to finish Brawl Pass for that? Well, that just goes to show, I guess, the sort of funding, but also the sort of dedication that this team has to playing the game. Yeah, so look at our lane matchups, though. We do have Barley on both sides. It's the Barley versus Tick matchup on the right side. Guille looking very nice, keeping up this fight against Moonlight. Does get outranged a bit here, but he is really kiting Moonlight here. Moonlight's getting a run for his money. iChaos getting nice control, getting some nice direct hits on Daryl. iChaos blocking off at this wall. Not sure what that's about. That is the level of confidence, I guess, that he has in Lenon to keep this fight on the side of AKZ. You see Daryl going down again, and this is going to be a decisive victory for AQM. Yeah, I mean, I love the emote coming out from Lenon. He's lag walking, even though AKZ can't see him. But AQM, I mean, if this is the kind of gameplay that they're going to be, bringing out the entire time, then they're just going to win this one really, really, really quickly. So AQM looking very good right off the bat. We actually did see, we actually did see AFGMKZ come out with an attempt at a counter, right? They brought out the Surge. Surge is just there for the teleport. I mean, we've gotten rid of most of our green button brawlers. Thank you, Supercell, for the balance changes, but we still have some brawlers that are just good because of their gadget. One of them is Surge. He's able to get a free super, so to speak, just off of that teleport and getting that longer range later on in the game. but really the reason that you're using him is for the free kill that you get from the teleport. But he's so slow at the start of the game with only power 1, or I guess the first upgrade level, and it's just tough for him to get in position. And we saw AC Milan Clash handle that very, very, very well. They were able to keep Surge away. They were able just to do damage to Surge before you could really get a teleport in. We saw iChaos on the Sprout. He was able to get some nice direct hits. And that is actually, I mean, you know, if we get the chance to see that again, we'll probably actually see AC Milan Clash bring out the Sprout again. It's one of the more powerful picks on this map. And we'll have the opportunity to take a look at iChaos hitting some more direct hits with the Sprout Seed Bomb. I mean, that's something that we see actually from the very talented Sprout players is, you know, Sprout, okay, you know, make your argument. Sprout is like an easy brawler. Yeah, but I mean, you can't really carry a Sprout for one. For two, though, it is tough to hit those shots directly since they just kind of fly in a weird way. They go way up in the air before they land on the ground, and then they, like, you know, kind of bounce in a strange way, and they're honestly quite easy to juke out and dodge. So mark of a good Sprout player, or maybe even just a good player in general, is they are able to hit those Sprout shots consistently. That's something we saw from iChaos. But let's talk actually about Lenane here. He was playing the Bell and staying up very, very high. I'm not sure exactly what the Bell is there for. Unfortunately, we don't have Teddy here with us today to help me figure it out. So that is unfortunate, though. Teddy, I call upon your spirit to come and inform us about what sort of role Bell is going to be fulfilling here. We see Bell coming back once again. We see the Bell coming out from AKZ as well. And wow, I mean, the Surge Teleport is just no match for a proper defense. Moonlight getting taken out swiftly by Lenane and iChaos. iChaos is just going to hang out in this bush. And wow, Moonlight is just, man, getting dominated on this lane. We're seeing Daryl also having a very tough time just trying to get in with that Surge Teleport, but a little bit hasty. Really wanted that Surge Teleport at a bit of an inopportune time. We see AQM once again destroying this right lane, and now we're going to see Daryl actually try and get this lane solo. This is actually something that we saw yesterday. It just doesn't work. You can't fight the 2v1. AQM, they're very good at actually getting these 2v1 situations. Check out AKZ on the right side. We have come here and Moonlight trying to fight against Lenane on the left lane. Lenane, though, keeping it. iChaos just needs to keep control here. Guille actually going down. iChaos now forced to retreat. Oh, and actually a kill, though unfortunate news for AKZ. If there had been an opportunity to take all of those gems, it would have been now, and the hedge came at just the wrong time. Though we are looking at what could be a little bit of a turnaround for AKZ. Now we have Moonlight in mid. He's able to get control. He's able to stay in that bush, and that's a position that you want to be in as Sprout. But now AKZ, they are spread apart and very thin. Come here as the only member at mid. iChaos is in a very strong defensive position. He's going to be able to back up. This is a decisive victory for AQM, and that is going to be the end of set 1. Man, the thumbs down. I mean, I don't know, maybe I would give a thumbs down. These are some awesome players. I would honestly be honored to play against these guys, especially a player like Guille, right? I would be giving him a thumbs down and spinning on him or something like that. Not on the victory, just on the loss, right? Because I'm pretty sure that is what AKZ was expecting coming into this, knowing that they're up against a team like Clash. So, I mean, it's a little bit discouraging, but AKZ, I mean, at least they get to play against these guys. At least they get to get some good practice. I, for one, can say playing against good players and getting your just butt absolutely handed to you despite anything that you try, and recognizing that it's not because they're running something irritating or running some cheese strategy. It's just because, you know, they're better, right? Though the loss kind of stinks, it doesn't feel like a loss, right? It always feels like a win because you always feel like you learned something. And, you know, getting just kind of dominated by these amazing players is certainly inspiring. And take a look at our stat comparison here. AC Milan Clash taken 18 kills compared to AFGM KZ taken 4. And that was mostly on that final push there where we actually did see AKZ take 3 kills, but unfortunately not managed to grab those gems. But look how many gems Clash grabbed, 34. You don't even need that many to win the game, okay? That's 17 gems each game, which means that they were fighting over mid for a little while and then managed to pick up a lot of the gems from AKZ. But with that, we're going to be headed into set number 2. It's going to be on Magnetic Field, and this is a map that we've actually seen some interesting strategies emerge on. Its use of the teleporter, mainly. We see like some sort of max comp. Max teleports behind, right? Uses the teleport to get some charge on the super or to get a nice pinch. We've seen people setting up pinches with the teleporter, so they get someone on one side of the teleporter and then they get someone to go through the teleporter, and now you've essentially eliminated the majority of your opponent's escape routes. So that's what we can expect to see going into Magnetic Field. AC Milan Clash, I expect them to handle this gracefully. Hopefully AKZ knows how to handle this and they're not just, you know, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, because it seemed like they started to fall apart a little bit in set number 1, especially in game number 2 when they just started running in independently. They weren't really working as a team. They were just trying to win like a 1v2 on lane or something like that, or maybe a 2v1 on lane, but they were all grouped up on the same lane. It's, you know, not exactly the greatest way. We actually saw Guille, or was it Guille? We saw, no, it was Linane. We saw Linane on the Bell on the left lane the entire last game, fighting a 1v2 and, you know, winning or at least holding lane for most of the time. And if you can hold lane against 2 brawlers, then that's absolutely fantastic, right? That's not an equalizer or anything at all, because now you're, I mean, by keeping the 1v2 at a stalemate, you are winning and you're allowing your teammates to fight a 2v1. Here comes the first pinch coming up. Linane gonna go for this pinch between iChaos and himself, and gonna get that kill on Daryl. Guille actually going for some damage, gets the kill with Frank, and that is gonna be massive control for AQM. Surprisingly, Linane is able to stay alive. Come here. Fortunately, snagging that elimination. Fortunately for AKZ, that is, Guille now gonna stand in a strong position. No stuns from AKZ to deal with this. Linane is going to be, I suppose, the main counter to Ims here, since he's able to roll in, and that is definitely a nice measure, or at least a safety measure right there. iChaos actually going to snag this kill on Moonlight. Guille breaking open these walls. He doesn't need to, but they can gain control this way. I think actually this is a bit of a counter coming out from AQM. Usually you see the Ims would be really, really good for dealing with this very sort of tanky comp, but with the Daryl in play, Moonlight is not going to have a great time. Here comes Linane, and he's going to push everyone off the point. That is going to be this first game in set number 2 going to AQM, and yeah, a little bit of dancing for the camera, because these players do have their cameras turned on. I mean, I will be completely honest here. The player cam is one of the best additions that I've ever seen in competitive Brawl Stars. I really wish they did that in the official, BSC broadcast, just because it's so fun to see people's reactions. It's so fun to see people cheering, or they're going like, oh my gosh, right? Because that's what some of our players did yesterday, especially our younger competitors. They get very, very frustrated. But AQM, they are not skipping a beat. They're going to be heading into this next game. Take a look at our comp from AKZ, though. They're now adjusting onto the Lu. Lu is a brawler that we've seen come back in the meta just a little bit because they buffed his freeze. He now freezes with less snowballs than before. Though, I gotta say, the most interesting pick here is actually coming from AQM. They're running the bow, and bow has not been meta for a hot minute. But I think what they're doing here is that they've recognized that there are important choke points that AKZ needs to walk past, and they're going to trap those, and they already actually get a stun that's going to be Moonlight going down, and definitely an oversight, because you do not want to get stunned by a mine, especially in that matter when you can walk away with it. In competitive, Moonlight once again going down to a mine in the exact same location. That is without a doubt a disappointment. It's something that some better team communication could fix. Okay, Moonlight, it's not happening again, man. He's gonna be disarming that mine, but We do see actually AKZ, they've only managed to get 1% on that hot zone, and if anything is discouraging, I would have to say it's that 1% to 100. Absolutely devastating, especially when we see Clash running a brawler like Bo and getting the stuns. That's certainly upsetting. Admittedly, probably AFGMKZ or AKZ, whatever you want to call them. I think AKZ rolls off the tongue better, but they probably have not really practiced against Bo, and so perhaps their muscle memory is thrown off a little bit. Maybe that's what AC Milan Clash is going for here. They're trying to throw off their enemies, because the thing is, AC Milan Clash, they can afford to lose a game here. They're looking very, very good. They just took set number 2 here, and they're going to be moving into set number 3. Take a look at the stat comparison, though. AC Milan Clash getting 16 kills versus 7. Of course, we do expect AKZ to have a substantial number of kills there, just because they were playing against a tank comp that sort of feeds them. Yeah, and more damage as well coming from AKZ. Completely expected, because we saw AQM running a tank comp that first round. We did see the damage stats close in a little bit in that last game, game number 2 in set number 2. But guys, with that, we're going to be headed into set number 3, which is Central Traffic, and this is a strange heist map. We actually could see a variety of strategies here. We could see the base race. We could see a tank-centric comp. We saw it from AQM, though we could see the adjustment actually from AKZ, right, to counter the tanks. But I mean, AKZ, that's going to be really their only chance, I think, against AC Milan at this point, is if they properly counter comp them. If they bring out something like a Colette, I think Colette would be an excellent choice here. Could also see the Amber or something like that. I would not be surprised to see the Colt coming out from AQM, since they pulled it out this round and they got a nice wall break. And Colt, of course, gets great damage on the safe. From AKZ, though, they might bring out the M's once again. Could actually get outranged here. I mean, this is a strange map. Take a look at our brawlers, and whoop-de-doo. It looks like I only predicted one brawler correctly. That's why we need Teddy here. But regardless, the comp from AQM, they're bringing out the Tara, they're bringing out the Spike, and they're going to be letting Amber get all over their safe. Looks like AQM is actually hoping to win a fight very quickly and then take out AKZ's safe in just sort of a landslide victory. They want to bring this one to match point pronto, because they got no time to waste. I mean, knowing AQM, they got a lot of tournaments to play, so maybe they even have something else. Some other tournament is waiting on them. Linane going to get massive damage on the safe. IKaos going to be able to get on this safe too. Moonlight trying to stay in a safe position, but is just going to be shooting himself in the foot as he's not able to defend this safe. Now, Guille with the penetrating attack. He might actually go for the super to finish things off, and getting a double super there, and definitely an oversight there from AKZ as they allow themselves to get double sucked there. AQM bringing us to match point without skipping a single beat. They have won every single game so far, and now we're at the match point. Man, AKZ, they really do have their work cut out for them in this next game. And, I mean, for the rest of the match today, at least for the rest of the Gamestars Group E competition for today, because let's be honest, from here, it's looking very grim for AKZ. Clash is almost certainly going to win this one. Surprise, surprise, I know. But that is sort of what we're looking at. AFGMKZ, they're going to have to bring something different to the elimination match, because that is where they're headed. If they keep playing like this, judging by their track record today, it seems that they are going to play it similarly. Maybe they'll just bring out something trolly, because Clash, let's be fair, I think most people going up against Clash, like I would say like 99.999% of people going up against Clash know that they are going to lose. And we're going to have to see the comp coming out from both of these teams. We do see AQM, they're bringing out the Carl, the Spike once again, and the Primo. So that's definitely a flex right there, because we don't see Primo doing too well. Yeah, and it is sort of biting them now. Linane struggling to take an aggressive position as Primo, just because that is the nature of this brawler. He has a lot of health to get himself in range, but he is out run and outdamaged by many other brawlers in the game. It's just the unfortunate truth. Though AQM, they probably don't actually need the better comp in order to win this game. They've already managed to get 14% on the save. We see Guille now winning that lane, and he's going to be getting all over AKZ's safe too. Kamir, though, now probably heading over to AQM safe, actually getting denied by Linane. He's trying to win this 1v1 against Linane, but it's not happening. Loads of damage coming in on AKZ safe, and this is going to be kind of, I think this is going to be maybe a little bit of emotional trauma for AKZ getting defeated by a Primo, though AQM no less. We're talking about a fantastic, just phenomenal team. They've already managed to secure 60%, now 61% on the safe. Gonna see Spike in loads of damage. That is gonna be the end of this match, going to AQM in a total landslide, and no surprise nor an upset. AQM, they were definitely the expected winners going into this match, and I mean, even going into the first place match today, I think they are probably the expected winners. Our next match up for the day is going to be the number 2 team in Ukraine versus the number 3 team in Wildcard 1. We haven't seen anyone from Wildcard 1 yet, but in just a moment, we're going to get to take a look at our stats from this last set, and the result could not be clearer. We actually do see Milan, or AC Milan Clash taking more kills. Of course, the objective in Heist is not the kills, and nor is it the damage. We see AFG and KZ, they actually managed to get more damage on Clash, but AFG and KZ, they were running something more centered towards control and winning the mid fight. But Clash, they brought out a tanky comp, and so they ended up feeding a lot of damage to AKZ. Especially Linane on that Primo. Not to say that he was doing a bad job, he's just playing Primo, and one of Primo's jobs, I guess, is to charge supers for the enemy team. Take a look at the stats from our overall match. Once again, could not be clear. AC Milan Clash with a decisive victory over AFG and KZ. As Teddy would say, a very convincing match, and this is probably going to take AC Milan to first place in the group final. This is going to be match number 4. Yeah, you saw our best heroes as well. Loads and loads and loads of damage coming out from iChaos on the Spike. But guys, that is going to be it for match number 1. We're going to be headed to a short break. We'll be back with match number 2. Stay tuned, y'all.
Всем привет, я Андрей Юченский, мне 16 лет, мы представляем регион Украина, команда Казаки. В нашей команде 4 игрока, это Сэм, X, Skills и, я Андрей Юченский, это, да? И мы играем за Украину, будем представлять ее на этих чемпионатах, интернациональных играх Gamestars. Если смотреть, сколько мы играем вместе под названием Казаки, то мы суммарно можем даже играть полгода, но это с временными отрывками. У нас есть универсальный игрок, это X-Sam, он играет практически за каждого персонажа, который ему дать. Очень опытный игрок, раньше был известен под никнеймом Big Baby Sam, сейчас же играет под просто Sam. Респект, очень классный игрок. Дальше Skills. Skills играет практически на всех дальниках, его любимый персонаж это Байрон, он за него показывает лютейшие результаты, может перебить прям любого, кого ему поставить на фланге. Дальше X. X это отдельная история, это просто персонаж с галактики прилетел к нам. Может отыграть как профессиональный игрок, а в ту же секунду может отыграть как полнейший, не знаю, блэджимых очень интересный опыт против сильных команд. Это же интернациональный турнир. Здесь можно встретиться против сильных испанцев, французов и так далее. Можно опять встретиться против Пети ММА и показать другой результат совсем. Ну, это очень хороший опыт. Ну, хотелось бы, конечно, пройти. Надеюсь, мы по нижней сетке пройдем. Цель на нашем турнире — показать максимально хорошие результаты, показать публике, что все возможно, что украинские команды тоже могут себя показать на таком огромном турнире. Попытаемся против всех сильных команд показать себя хорошо. У нас очень мало дней на подготовку, потому что у нас новый состав, мы добавили XM, это было совсем недавно, это было где-то 2 недели назад, и нам нужно очень много тренироваться, чтобы сравняться по уровню игры с сильнейшими командами. Все будет хорошо, пацаны, не боитесь.
Love to have the player interviews. Guys, welcome back. We're going to be getting into match number 2 very shortly here. It is going to be FA Kozaki versus the Chernobyl Dribblers. And of course, you know, we had an interview just now, but I mean, I would be lying if I said I am very familiar with these teams. Teddy, I feel in a similar position. We're looking at the number 2 team in Ukraine versus the number 3 team in wild card qualifier number 1. So only time will tell really how these two teams are going to fare against each other. Something I want to note is that I mean, I love the names of the teams here. FA Kozaki, of course, they need an org to sponsor them. The Chernobyl Dribblers, I love that. Hopefully we get to see the Dribblers do something in Brawl Ball. Though, take a look. This is a brief overview of our standings so far. Of course, AC Milan with a massive victory over AFG MKZ. AFG MKZ, they have dropped down to the elimination match for today. That's going to be right after this one, so you won't want to miss it. I'm sure some tears will be shed because that is going to be upsetting to be eliminated from the Gamestars tournament. Though our next match, of course, FA Kozaki versus Chernobyl D. The winner of that will be moving on to face AC Milan Clash, and they, I mean, I guess the grind never stops for some people. Not only is this going to be an exhilarating and a tough match, but they're going to be faced up against AC Milan Clash right afterwards. With that, though, let's get a brief overview of our maps. It's going to be Robo Highway, and I know our map here says that it is with jump pads, but it's actually with teleporters. And the teleporters have made for some very interesting gameplay on this map. We've actually seen them being utilized very well. So that's going to be set number 1. Set number 2 is going to be on Parallel Plays. Set number 3 on GG Mortuary. And then, just like yesterday, set number 4 on Purple Paradise. And set number 5, if we make it there, Deep Diner. Set number 4 and 5 are only if we make it there. And, you know, given that we are not so familiar with these teams, I can't really say who has the advantage here, right? Who is more experienced? Though maybe we can make some sort of deduction from the bans. We have the Bell ban coming out from Kozaki and the Stu ban coming out from Chernobyl Dribblers. So this is similar to what we saw last round. We always see the Stu ban pretty much. If we don't see the Stu ban, then we see him play. If we don't see the Bell ban, then we see her play. We didn't see it actually towards the beginning of the competition. I think people were just a little bit cautious, hesitant to ban Bell. And here we got our player cam. Look at that. This is a view from, I believe it's Chernobyl Dribblers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these players are getting prepared for their upcoming match. Get to take a look at what these players' rooms look like, I suppose. Hey, he saw himself on stream, I think. Well, anyway. I think, set number 4, we got Purple Paradise coming up, and given that we don't really know these teams too well, can't really draw who we think is a better team, so probably going to head into set number 4 and 5 if no one really has a decisive advantage over the other. Though I want to talk about the bans. Actually, we have the Stu ban, we have the Bell ban. Last round we actually saw the Mortis ban, so of course no Mortis. It opened up the thrower play for both teams, in fact, though I think it actually worked a bit better towards Clash's advantage, that throwers were in play, that they didn't have to worry about the counter comp. AFGMKZ, they really shot themselves in the foot there, because the thrower ban, or rather the thrower, I guess, enabling, right, by banning Mortis, just brought so many throwers to attack them from Clash, and it just did not work out. So hopefully these teams know exactly what they are getting themselves into with the bans that they've chosen. Of course, we're talking about powerful brawlers. Stu is a very, very powerful brawler, likely the most powerful in the game. Though, hold that thought, we are going to be getting into our first game of this match. It is Kozaki versus Chernobyl Dribblers, and we are spectating Kozaki. Take a look at our comps. We are running a max comp from Kozaki. From Chernobyl Dribblers, though, they are running much of the same. They're running a max-centric comp, though they're not running the same sort of strat that we see from Kozaki. Kozaki, this is a comp that we're more familiar with or from our earlier days in the competition. We've seen it like every single day, and usually in every single match, it's the max comp. It's a max Sandy Jean. It's so powerful because Sandy is able to benefit so much from Max's speed. He's able just to get great poke damage. He's also able to get really nice burst damage. He's already fast to begin with. Wow, and we actually do see a member of Kozaki getting taken down on the left lane. Not going to be a huge blow, though. Excellent pull there, and the help from X to secure that kill very quickly. X now teleporting again to try and find positioning on Castillo. Castillo hiding behind a wall, but no match for Sandy, and that could actually be the detriment there of playing BB, is that she gets outranged by virtually everyone on Kozaki, as well with the max speed. I mean, she gets outsped by everyone too. This is going to be the second siege bot going to Kozaki. Going to get loads of damage on this Ike. They're not going to be able to take it down. It doesn't look like, actually. So we're actually going to have to see Kozaki keep control of mid here. They have a 1 bolt advantage, but that could very well change. We do see Castillo going down to X just now. X now going to pick up another bolt. Kozaki actually has the advantage here. There are a few seconds left, but it just doesn't look like a lead that Chernobyl Dribblers can pick up. That is going to be our final bot going to Kozaki, and a decisive victory over Chernobyl Dribblers, actually. I think Chernobyl Dribblers, they got a little bit out-comped here because they were running the BB, and BB just was not able to contest with all of those brawlers that outrange her. Yeah, take a look at the difference between the player cams. We see Kozaki, he's looking very happy. Oh, and a short ad for mineral water. And then Chernobyl Dribblers looking pretty glum. That is the first game going to FA Kozaki. I mean, we have that member from FA Kozaki. What he's saying right now is like, hey man, we're free agents, but I mean, if the mineral water sponsor wants to hit us up, then please be my guest. I think really, just to reiterate, FA Kozaki, they, I think, outcomped Chernobyl Dribblers here, and Chernobyl Dribblers, they're going to have to pick either a counter comp to this very, tried and tested and true strat from Kozaki, or they're just going to have to run the mirror match, okay? Because what Kozaki is running here, they're running the Jean, they're running the Max, they're running the Sandy. It's Max and 2 brawlers that benefit from her greatly. Also, Sandy and Jean tend to work together pretty well just because Jean is able to get a pull, and then Sandy can pump out the damage to kill that target while it's being pulled. So the target just gets stunned and gets absolutely pulled out of position and crushed by the combination of Jean and Sandy. So that's what we can expect to see. We'll see a sort of a, probably a mirror match actually going into this next round, unless Chernobyl Dribblers are actually not comfortable with that comp, which I find unlikely. Chernobyl Dribblers, they made it this far. They came number 3 in wildcard number 1, and they faced against some really great teams to get there. Of course, they had to, of course, they didn't make it into the winner's bracket, right? But they did win, I guess, the loser's bracket. I'm assuming it was a double elimination bracket. So they came 3rd in the open qualifiers. Surely, man, surely they have some tricks up their sleeve, and surely they're able to play the mirror match, though unfortunately for them, it looks like this fight is actually going to be on Kozaki's terms, because Kozaki, they already got the first game underway. If they can take this next game, we'll be moving on to set number 2. And I mean, Kozaki, they looked very, very clean on that Jean Max Sandy. We saw excellent synergy between Jean and Sandy there. The speed from Sim, able to get it on U4O. Okay, I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Regardless, Sim going to teleport through. A quick lane switch up. Not exactly sure if that's so beneficial. Hero don't know if he meant to teleport. Actually, this is going to be Chernobyl Dribblers taking an early lead on Kozaki here. That is going to be, ooh, nice actually. A great teleport there actually from Jean. Unfortunately, still got taken down by Hero. He was actually looking for a pull. Really needed to get that supercharged up to get a proper pull. Sim is not going to be able to speed him up here, so that is going to be a disadvantage that they're playing at. Yeah, and I guess it's pronounced Yudo. Yudo has decided, you know, this is okay, maybe it's U4O. He has decided though that it's not worth it actually to pull the bot, right? Instead he got that pull on Max, and that is going to be huge actually for Kozaki. They're going to be able to take back control of mid, though they still do have to win this fight against Castillo, who is laying down loads of control. Hero getting aggressive. We see U4O going behind, trying to take out Hero. Hero with the teleport almost went directly into harm's way. Looks like X was not really prepared for the teleport. If he were, then we could have seen this go a different way. Though, this is very interesting. We do actually see very nice bot coming out from Chernobyl Dribblers this time. Wow, they might actually get this push here. That is going to be this game going to Chernobyl Dribblers. Very, very well played from them. All we needed to do was see a slight comp adjustment. No BB, no thank you. I mean, BB, she was good, right? Just because she had ridiculous shield with that star power. But the thing here is that it's just too open of a map for BB to really perform. Just because she is not able to hide behind any obstacles, she's not really able to make her way over to the bolts. She just gets dominated, she just gets pummeled and hit with loads of supers, just one after the other. But no hesitation, these players are going to be headed into the next game. Take a look at our brawlers here. Actually, same strat coming out from both teams. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they always say. Kozaki, we see coming out with a very powerful comp. And Chernobyl Dribblers are coming out with what worked last time. An excellent pull there from U4O. That was a very long range pull. That is just the power of the max speed when push comes to shove. You see a nice defense there from Chernobyl Dribblers. They're going to speed in their entire team. A Barley with speed is actually quite dangerous, though. I mean, it's also dangerous for Barley himself because he can get a little bit too aggressive. Hero really trying to stay aggressive there. Wasted the gadget. Unfortunately, that is going to be mid control. Returning it to Kozaki. And they're just going to have to flex and just adapt to this push from Chernobyl Dribblers. We see Sim almost, able to get that kill on Sandy. An important one for sure. We're going to see Kozaki keep control here of mid, and actually with this bot, they're also going to put themselves at a bolt advantage. An excellent pull once again by U4O, and very little defense there from Chernobyl Dribblers. This is going to be a similar situation to last game. It's not entirely certain if that is going to go down. It is not. We could actually see Kozaki go for a last minute push onto that Ike, but they don't need to. U4O now going to go for this bolt, now going to go for another Sim, able to pick up a bolt, get this kill on Hero. Actually, it looks like this one is in favor of Kozaki, unless we see some like ridiculous clutch, which seems impossible. A nice pinch there by Kozaki. We did see Nald get a little bit too aggressive there, though he was practically forced to. There was no other way to win that fight. Unfortunate news there for Chernobyl Dribblers. That is going to be this set going to Kozaki. Yep, and we'll just move into the last few seconds of the match. I mean, Chernobyl Dribblers definitely not pleased with the outcome of this match, but if they really have the motivation and the mettle to win, then they're just gonna like breathe, just take a deep breath, reset, and we're gonna be moving into the next set with just a clean slate. It's actually something that we heard in an interview last, what was it? It was a couple days ago, right? We saw SK, right? They say, yep, we just reset between every single match. Every time we lose, we just like take a deep breath and we just keep playing, right? We recognize our mistakes. They get a clean slate every single time they play. It's all about that mentality. that is what Chernobyl Dribblers are going to need going into our next set. But before we move on from this set, let's take a look at the stat comparison. Kozaki managing to secure 5 times the kills of Chernobyl Dribblers. Actually, not as much damage, it seems, with the Siege Bot. So that just goes to show it does really come down to control there. You don't have to defeat the enemy Ike in order to win the war, right? You don't necessarily have to win the battle to win the war, and by that I mean you don't have to always win the bot in order to win the game overall. So great stat comparison between these two teams. With that though, we're going to be moving into set number 2. Set number 2 is going to be on parallel plays, one that we actually do see in the competitive map pool, the official BSC competitive map pool. And we also see it in Power League. At least we saw it in the first season. So a definite, well-rehearsed, well-practiced map. We're gonna have to see what FA Kozaki and Chernobyl Dribblers can bring out here, because this is gonna be the mark of whether they are truly tried and tested and true in the competitive sphere, since this map is in practically, it seems, every competition nowadays. So we could expect to see the Byron coming out. The IMS is powerful here. We actually did see Chernobyl Dribblers running the Shield BB in the first game, and it didn't work out so well for them, but knowing that that is one of their choices, it is a possibility. So loads of brawlers that you can play here on parallel plays. Something that we saw a lot in sort of the meta of last month is we always saw a Byron mid and a Jesse left lane, and something to just rush towards the safe, perhaps a like a Shield BB or something like that. But of course, meta has shifted. We also don't have Stu in play. Something to keep in mind. We don't have Bell. We don't have Stu in play. So those brawlers are of course not going to be played. They're banned. But we'll have to see what these players choose. I mean, if we see the choice of a Byron, then we're gonna have to see something that goes with the Byron, perhaps a tank. Take a look at our brawlers. Actually, none of those brawlers. Only exception is Barley, actually. Barley, of course, being very meta at the moment. Same with Amber, actually. She's not as good as she used to be, but she's still very strong for long distance control. She's kind of like Ems, right? In the regard that her shot goes pretty far and it lingers for a while. It looks like they were having a little bit of trouble tracking down Nald here. Nald is just creating a little bunker there with his sandbags. We're going to see Chernobyl Dribblers take the advantage on the percentage so far. Now Kozaki taking it back. They're capturing their point. Sim capturing the right point. He's got that power up from Colonel Ruffs. We actually do see Nald going down while holding one of his own power-ups, so that is a definite L right there. Sim staying alive. He is getting pinched between Barley and Hero here. That was a great play from Chernobyl Dribblers, though they're gonna have to bring out something a little bit better if they want to stay alive, because we do now see FA Kozaki pushing up on this right point, taking control. Euphoro now has that power up. He's gonna be, wow, doing massive damage. I think just one shot would be enough to take out Castillo. So not looking good, actually. This is probably going to be our first game of the set going to Kozaki. Yeah, even with the Gale jump pad, it's not going to be enough. I will say I'm pretty suspicious of the Gale. We usually only see him played for the utility of that jump pad, so just something to keep in mind. Yeah, Sim, he is not getting pushed out of the way. Actually, I think what that means is that Gale is actually running the slowing star power instead of the stunning one. And it's funny, though, because we saw Gale, right, when he was meta, when it was like Gale, Mr. P, Surge meta. We never saw anyone run Gale without the stun, because Gale's stun was so powerful. You could get it so consistently and just, over and over and over and chain it and chain it and chain it. And it was just so powerful. But to see it not run is a little bit disappointing. I think the utility of Gale here is, in fact, utility. He wants to be able to set up those opportunities for other brawlers by slowing them down. But it didn't seem like anyone from Chernobyl Dribblers was really able to capitalize on that, unfortunately. So that is going to be our first game in set number 2, going to Kozaki. They won set number 1. If they can pick up this next game, then they are going to win set number 2 as well, and potentially take us into our final set, though I'm low-key that doesn't happen, just because Purple Paradise is such a fun one to watch. It's entertaining, it's new, it's different, it's refreshing. Purple Paradise, it is in the choices, right? It's in the friendly game menu, but it is not on ladder, and it probably never will be unless some sort of 1v1 mode gets introduced. But with that, we are headed into our second game of set number 2. Take a look at our brawlers. We do see Chernobyl Dribblers coming out with the Byron this time. Byron unfortunately getting taken down. We already see Chernobyl Dribblers defense falling. Euphoro now fighting against Hero over here, looking to gain this advantage. Euphoro, needs some more healing from a teammate, but it's not happening. Not able to heal enough. Now we actually do see Chernobyl Dribblers making their assault, and this is perhaps more of the game that they were expecting here with Byron. We need to see Byron get some heals. Wow, and a nice kill there from Castillo. We do see Sim is securing a kill, though. Sim also going down to Castillo in the same fashion. Now, finally, Chernobyl Dribbler is going to take this advantage on the percentage over F.A. Kozaki. So, Hero, he's in a strong position. He's just hiding. We actually need to see Kozaki with a strong defense here. Otherwise, Hero's going to be able to stay on there and get loads of percentage. Now, we actually see Chernobyl Dribblers in the same position as Kozaki. They need to defend here because all that F.A. Kozaki needs now is to win this right point, though they have a long way to go. They have a large deficit to pick up, and it actually looks like Kozaki, they are going to be playing very defensively, and it just really stinks because it's going to be so hard for them to play any different way. To push into Barley is going to just be a colossal task. They are not equipped to deal with this Barley, and perhaps that is a bit of an oversight actually from F.A. Kozaki. Maybe they were expecting to have the Amber deal with it. But here comes F.A. Kozaki. They've picked up a win on the left lane. Sim actually got a little too aggressive there. Is going to go down to Hero. Hero now making this push through, looking for the kill on X. Not going to be able to secure that kill, or at least just yet. Here comes the kill through from a Hero, and it looks like this game could actually go to Chernobyl Dribblers. Hero now staying on this point. It looks like Kozaki are too far out of range. They're not going to be able to get Hero. That is going to be, and it was so close too. That is going to be this game going to F.A. Kozaki, and that is going to bring our set score to 1-1. So, you know what? I may not have been right about the players, or at least the brawlers played on this map, but at least I was right about this match being a close one, right? Because both sets have gone 1-1 so far, and it really just comes down to this last game to decide whether Kozaki or Chernobyl Dribblers, are going to have the advantage in the rest of the match. Kozaki, they got to take this now, because that'll give them a 2-0 lead, and that first win that they had in Hot Zone will be all for nothing. Chernobyl Dribblers, though, they're looking very good to erase that win off of their record if they manage to get this next win. So that is the name of the game here, is to get the next win. And guys, I gotta say, it is a challenge solo casting, and I miss Teddy so much, but I guess I get to have all this excitement for myself. Thank you all for having me today. It is a pleasure to be here, even though unfortunately I cannot be joined by Teddy. Something tells me he's like asleep or something. He hasn't responded on Discord. So that actually, never mind. Let's go. Teddy said he can join up in 3 minutes. Okay, so 15. Well, actually, yeah, it looks like I think an hour of being without Teddy, an hour of being Teddyless. But finally, Teddy is going to give me the opportunity to rest my voice. So I think you love to see it. Though Teddy's going to be making it just in time for the action. Teddy's going to be here for the elimination match, and he's going to be here for the final, where we will be seeing who faces off against Clash. Of course, this match is very significant in that regard. The winner of this match will go on to face Clash in the finals, and it will be a clash for the ages, if you will. It's going to be a ruthless match for whoever takes this one, because we're looking at teams that, they did okay in the grand scheme of things in their respective qualifiers. We saw Chernobyl Dribblers once again get 3rd place in wildcard region number 1. Then F.A. Kozaki got number 2 in Ukraine. We saw the number 1 Ukraine team play the other day. They tried their best, right? They did not do amazing, but they didn't get knocked out either. Though that is just sort of our frame of reference for whoever wins this match. Kozaki, they are looking pretty good. They're getting this nice defense, though we do see Chernobyl dribblers trying to get this pesky Edgar off of their point. Sim gonna go down, though. Kozaki, they do. Oh, actually, never mind. They do not have the advantage here. It looks like Chernobyl dribblers has the advantage here. Not exactly sure how that happened. Looks like it's because Yudo actually switched off, or I say Yudo because it looks like a D. Euphoro switched off of the left lane and opted to go to the right, and that is, that is a pretty fair a choice there, just because this point on the right is so much harder to grab than the one on the left. And good on Kozaki for bringing out the Edgar this time to make that a lot easier. Now looks like Kozaki's in the lead because they managed to get more percentage on the right lane than Chernobyl dribblers got on the left lane. So now Sim is just waiting for this perfect opportunity to jump in. He's going to try and get this kill on, wow, getting a double kill, a decisive victory there for FA Kozaki. And this is actually looking fantastic for them so far. Chernobyl dribblers are going to be able to make it back to their point, and with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the match, they do stand a chance to pick up this lead that FA Kozaki has taken over them. Wow, and X going to secure a kill there. A powered up Sim on Edgar is going to secure yet another kill on Amber. Sim just needs to stay here and keep control. Sim staying away from that super, but not able to escape the ricocheting shots of Colonel Ruffs. Don't want to feed Nald too much, otherwise FA Kozaki runs the risk of allowing Chernobyl dribblers to get too powered up. A nice defense there from Nald, even though he went down, he was sure to go down regardless. Great offense there from Euphoro. X going to be able to stay on this point. Nice pinch there as well between X and Euphoro. That is actually going to be this game going to FA Kozaki, and this is phenomenal for them because that is going to take us into set number 3, where we are going to be just one set away from the win for FA Kozaki. Yeah, and I'm always hopeful that we end up moving into set number 4 on Purple Paradise, but even then, I think it would be a pretty clear victory there for Kozaki. Kozaki, they've dropped a couple of games here so far, and we saw very promising play from Chernobyl dribblers, though for Chernobyl dribblers, it was an uphill battle the entire time. It was very tough for them to push through and get that last bit of percentage. It was not a decisive victory like we've already seen from FA Kozaki, and I believe, oh my god, is that Teddy? Could that be Teddy in the background?
It is actually Teddy joining up a bit late to the party, but just in time to potentially get to we're going to set 3, right? The decider set, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are. So just review for anyone who's just joining in as well. We are in set number 3 of match number 2 at Chernobyl. Yeah, and Chernobyl dribblers, they're looking pretty rough at this point. FA Kozaki, they are leading 2-0. Our next map is going to be at GG Mortuary. I mean, Teddy, I think our competitive players have strong feelings about this one.
Yeah, this is a bit of a particular map. From the layout, you have to kind of zigzag your way to the save, and a lot of players, they don't really like that, so they'd rather just destroy the map, open it up with something like a Colt, as you can see right here, and then it gets a bit less tedious to find some hits on your enemy safe. It is still a bit of a journey, since you don't have a whole lot of cover, and you kind of have like that no man's land in the center of the map where there's kind of nothing to work with, and you're getting sniped from afar, but some nice shots here are going to be opening things up for Kosk.
Yeah, something actually we see a lot on this map is the Piper. Wow, and actually looks like Euphoro is going to go for another wall break there. It's just a very wall break-y comp coming out from Kozaki, and I mean, all of these brawlers stand to benefit from the wall break. It's going to be tough for Chernobyl dribblers to come back from it, since it looks like they did get out-comped just a little bit. I don't think the Byron was really the move here. He is a strong brawler, but Piper is simply a better long-range duelist. I think, that's something that Teddy always says, is that she's a good long-range duelist. Looks like, actually, Chernobyl dribblers, they're going to struggle to get this wall break just because their one wall breaker is Colt. And it looks like Nald is struggling to get some hits as well. almost going to get taken out by Sim. And another super there from Colette going to come in, though I don't think that one connected with the safe, Teddy.
Yeah, I don't think it did either. This is, a bit of a miss. Just to add up to what you were saying earlier, Piper is on this map is kind of not the best brawler, but the thing is, it's gonna be doing very well against some of the good brawlers that are played here. The Colettes, the Colts, the Byrons. It just has a lot of range. It's very good at just sniping them down. Is it the best for Heist? Is it the best for... Oh, is that another Colette miss?
Ouch. I mean, yeah, we saw the Colette supers coming in, and she was hitting them at max range. That's definitely something that requires, like, practice and drilling, but that is really unfortunate because that is, I mean, this safe would have been at 3%. Well, it would have been at 0% now if we saw 2 Colette hits. Unfortunate news, though. 69-20 damage left on the safe. Looking very nice for Kozaki as they actually threatened to take this match. Now they're taking this match to match point.
Oh my. So far, it seems like it was a pretty dominant performance on the side of Kozaki. I wasn't there to watch the early stages of the game. Can you maybe just summarize what happened? Also for people that are tuning in now.
Yeah, so we actually did see a 1-1 count in both sets, right? So we actually did see Efe Kozaki and Chernobyl Dribblers get pretty close. It all came down to the last game in the set. So it's not a decisive victory, so to speak, from Kozaki in those previous 2 sets, though they have been winning with, looks like actually better comps. I mean, I know you said that Piper, not really one of the best brawlers on this map, though I think, or not really one of the best brawlers, maybe in Heist in general, though Piper, as you said, does pretty well against the brawlers that are good on this map. We see Colette now hitting that super for 13% damage, and look, Euphoro also getting damage on that safe. Was just a little bit out of range on that one, but really the idea of Piper here is just long range control. And I mean, Chernobyl Dribblers, they look like they're a little bit out of their comfort zone here, running the Piper this round.
Yeah, it's a very tough pick because if your opponents play it, at some point you might just kind of feel forced to go for it because there's no really like counter to it to a certain extent. It kind of feels like it's at the top of the food chain because it just has the highest range and the highest damage from afar. So it kind of becomes like, a copy-paste situation. Hero does have a super that's going to be 13% damage, but so far, Kozaki, they have a pretty decent lead. They are in a good position, and X is looking to find some tags on the Piper. Not going to be happening just yet.
Yeah, X needs to stay alive. X is going to be the key damage dealer, it looks like, from Efe Kozaki. Sem can do substantial damage, but he's not able to get just as high burst damage as Colette on that save. You see Sim getting some little pot shots on the save. Same from Castillo. We're going to have to see, actually, Chernobyl Dribblers, they're going to have to get control of mid. And a whiffed super. You hate to see it coming out from Hero. X not going to get value on that super either. The Colette is looking rough on this map. This is unfortunate to see, though the stakes are high. Euphoro is just 20 seconds away from taking this dub and getting this match out of the way. The Hero 9, he's not pleased right now. They're about to get swept in this match. Now just a few percent left on that save. Excellent there for Euphoro. Yeah, love the player cams. That is going to be this match going to Efe Kozaki, and they will be advancing to the finals to face off against AC Milan Clash. Chernobyl Dribbles, they will be dropping down into the elimination match, which will be our next match.
Oh my, that was pretty one-sided here from Kozaki. They looked pretty strong. I'm a bit more scared for Chernobyl because I wasn't really able to see too much on their side of things, too much potential, you know what I mean, from what we can expect from them once they start facing their elimination match. So I'm curious to see how that's going to be working out.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really get to see much from either of these teams that we have coming up in the elimination match just because they had some pretty tough opponents. Check out the discrepancy in the stats here. Kozaki with nearly twice the kills of Chernobyl in this last game. Of course, something we saw from Kozaki is they played for control and then they went for safe damage. In the second game, we actually did see Chernobyl dribblers get some safe damage, but it was not necessarily because they won control. They won lane or something, and then they had the opportunity to push through, get some damage on the safe, but ultimately die right thereafter. Not exactly the same story from Kozaki. We saw them get damage on the safe and then retreat back to mid to keep control. Take a look at the difference in the kills, though, overall the entire match. I mean, even though the first two sets got close because we saw a 1-1 count headed into the last game, this one definitely favored Chernobyl dribblers. Or sorry, definitely favored definitely favored FA Kozaki. Didn't favor Chernobyl dribblers in the slightest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I completely agree, and then I heard the name, I was like,
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got some highlights for you.
Всем привет, меня зовут Андрей, мне 18 лет, я из Казахстана, города Алматы, я представляю команду АФГ МКЗ. Мы уже играем вместе около двух лет, часто играем турниры. Мы живем в одном районе, давно знакомы, собрались вместе, давайте, пацаны, поиграем. Все согласились, вот так и начали. Игрок Комхера, ему 17 лет, зовут его Байжан. Второй игрок Moonlight, ему 17 лет, зовут Бауржан. Против нас это Clash, самая топовая команда по всему миру. Я не знаю, шансов есть у нас против них или нету. Там очень мощные игроки, я не знаю. Попытаемся их выиграть. У меня любимый персонаж это Амбер, у Moonlight это Джесси, у Комхера это Кольт. Мы должны показать на все, что мы способны. Пацаны, мы должны дойти до 1.16 и выиграть этот турнир, чтобы нам не стоило. Казахстан, верьте нас, мы вас не подведем.
Hello, I am from Sofia, Bulgaria, and I am 18 years old. I am the captain of Chernobyl Dribblers. We're playing since 2020. Okay, let's start with the first teammate. He's 21 years old. His name is Castillo, and he's from Sofia, like the third teammate. We're friends in real life, and we're communicating really good. His name is Naut. He's from Sofia. His name is Nicola. My favorite brawler is Surge. I'm playing the aggro brawlers in my team. Castillo's brawler is Piper. He's playing the mid brawlers like Gem Carriers, and Naut's brawler is Sprout, I think. He's playing the throwers in the team. No, that's our first international tournament, and we are very excited to participate. We don't have a goal. Our goal is to get as far as possible and be competitive. I think that we can say that we're one of the best teams in Bulgaria, and we're trying really hard in the World Championships. I hope that we will do a good job versus the other teams, and we can be a top 8 team at least.
Welcome back, everyone. We are moving on to the elimination match. So the loser of this team is going home empty-handed. The winner will still stand a chance in the decider match. Ready, set. What do you expect from this match? You've casted both teams earlier. Do you feel like one of them was kind of standing apart?
Yeah, I mean, I think like AFGMKZ, I think they, stood a better chance. They actually did hold their ground against AC Milan Clash a handful of times. FA Kozaki definitely, wasn't the, they're not AC Milan Clash level, unfortunately, coming into the competition. So, Chernobyl Dribblers, they did okay against FA Kozaki, but AFGMKZ, I think these guys are looking a bit better going into this match, though. I mean, we didn't get to see their colors shine too much just because of the sort of suffocating opponent they were up against.
Yeah, I kind of understand that. I mean, especially if you look on the side of A Few Good Men, they are facing the heavy favorite of the group, one of the best teams in EMEA, one of the best teams in Europe. So it's kind of hard also to kind of see what potential they have. But I mean, if they held their ground well, I think they could actually have a solid shot here against Chernobyl Dribblers.
Yeah, I absolutely think they have a solid shot. I mean, think from Chernobyl Dribblers, we saw them falling into some bad habits, going for perhaps like a 1v2 on a lane, or getting staggered a little bit. They actually did put up a good fight against FA Kozaki at some point, and actually I think we have the bans coming in. Wow, the Stu ban from both teams, so that's only going to be one brawler taken out of this competition. I mean, this does leave some other brawlers still in the equation, Teddy. We have some very powerful brawlers that we are probably going to see every game, even when Stu is out of the question.
Yeah, Stu is kind of the go-to ban at the moment. And the problem with that is that, sometimes we get those double bans and we end up having only one ban that leaves 45 brawlers to play. And you're going to see a lot of potentially Byron, maybe Ruffs, Amber, Max, all those brawlers. They're like full on available. And that's definitely going to be shifting how this match is going. We are gonna find out what maps we are playing. That's gonna be Split in Hot Zone to kick things off, Sunny Soccer for Brawl Ball, Snake Prairie for Bounty, Olive Branch in Siege, and then finally Hot Potato and Heist.
This Snake Prairie as set number 3 is pretty brutal, just because you can really lose your footing on that match, and if you've gotten swept up to that point, that is going to be the deciding map. And yikes, dude, I would not want that to be my deciding map. Though Split, this is a great map to start things off. I think, I know that competitive players have mixed opinions about Split. A lot of people don't like the map just because of the sort of gameplay that it seems to enforce, or perhaps, a bit of uncertainty surrounding what brawlers you can play here. But now we have this game getting underway. Take a look at our brawlers. We have the BB, Rico, and Gale coming out from AKZ, Ruffs, Barley, and Rico coming out from Chernobyl Dribblers. Looks actually like AKZ's comp is working out substantially better at this point. Looks like the BB might actually be making the biggest impact here, since she's able to sit up so high and keep enemies off the point. We do see that first bit of percentage now coming in from Chernobyl Dribblers on the left side. Moonlight now having to fight this 1v1 on the right lane against Barley, which is a tough one to say the least. You see Nald taking this win right here, and could actually be the comeback in this game for Chernobyl Dribblers.
Yeah, this is a good position. I do really like the strategy on the side of AKZ. The point is kind of just to jump your BB into the enemy zone, and first of all secure a couple of percentages, but also just be straight up in their face. But Ruffs is a really good counter for that, as well, as he just opened up the walls and made it so they can play a bit more the distance, and Daryl started struggling a bit more. Still a super small lead in favor of AKZ, but look at this, it's gonna be gone any second now as Moonlight falls as well, and it is Chernobyl Dribblers leading by 1% right now.
Ouch, and this is a rough one, though. This is where we could see AKZ's strategy really shine. We see it, Daryl getting jumped in by Gale. Ooh, almost saw Moonlight win that right there. Daryl gonna try and lock down this right lane. AKZ, though, they're not gonna have the lead here. This might have been a misplay by Come Here. He's not able to stay on the point. Moonlight trying to get Hero off the point. Hero not on the point.
My.
Wow, and 199% AKZ taking this first game. The BB Gale strat seemed to work out, but they only made this by the skin of their teeth, Teddy.
Yeah, they were not comfortable there. I think it's a very interesting turn of events, because early on it worked really well, the strat. They were like up by like 40%. They had both zones under control for the longest time. They were in an excellent situation. And then the right lane kind of fell apart. And on the left-hand side, the Ruffs got a super. He destroyed the walls. And basically what happened because of that is that like there was just more space, which means that the Rico and the Ruffs could stay a bit more at a distance, whereas otherwise they would kind of have to like stay in the zone, and they would be immediately in range of the BB when she lands. Here they had more space to work with, easier to hit those shots, less cover to work with for BB, and that just led to an easy time covering the zone. So yeah, kind of a comp on a few good men that does pretty well. It's one of my favorites as well, just because it can get pretty tough without destruction to get into that zone, and the jump pad is definitely a good way to do it. And look at this, we have double destruction now on a few good men. This could be a very nice counter to the double bounce comp on the side of Chernobyl Dribblers.
Yeah, but we've seen this comp actually in Brawl Stars competitive. It seemed to work pretty well. Castillo actually looks like he's going to win this lane on the left side, providing some time for Hero to come back. Moonlight is going to have his work cut out for him, as he also has some sandbags in his way as he tries to get some shots. Castillo, wow, just laying down the control. Got the assistance from Nald as well to get that kill right there. Looking great for Chernobyl Dribblers right now. Seems as if AKZ might have been a little bit overzealous with the pick of this comp here, since they just are not able to get the appropriate wall break. Look at the sandbags just absorbing so much of the damage from these brawlers. Of course, we're talking Colt and B and Pam. None of them have penetrating attacks. Moonlight is angry. He already knows that this game is over. They got out-comped this time, Teddy.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I mean, I don't think the Pam was really the way to go here anyways, but I genuinely like the B-Colt combination on this map. I feel like it fares pretty well in general. I don't really know what went wrong. I feel like some of the gadgets from the Colt were not like exactly on point either. Like they would leave a wall here and there, which first is already a bad sign, because you just want them gone. Otherwise, against something like Barley, he's just gonna be standing behind that one wall and he's gonna be perfectly fine. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe like from what I think happened, because I think comp-wise a few good men had a really good shot at this one, just because once the map opens up, it's going to be a tougher time for Ruffs and Rico to find as much value as what Colt and B can find. What I think happened here is that mechanically there were just some difficulties on the side of a few good men to hit those shots. And it sounds very like straightforward, but I think that's kind of what happened. And when you play a comp that relies so much on out-aiming your opponents and on hitting them from afar and beaming them down, something like a Colt and a B, if you don't find enough value, you have no utility.
Yeah, and I think a major issue that we saw, let's talk about Chernobyl Dribblers. We had Rico coming out from them, and Rico was absolutely just wiping out a few good men. And seeing as we have sharpshooters that really do need to have their aim on point, and you have Rico with Robo Retreat, it is so hard to hit him. It's, you know, essentially impossible in the case of B, right? Maybe you can get like a few shots on him as Colt, but he's so evasive, combined with Colonel Ruffs on the, like, with the sandbag gadget, able to lay those down to give Rico some protection. I think that's why we saw that left lane get locked down so much by Chernobyl dribblers. They were able to run that strat, and we could see it again. Looks like they are running Castillo on the left lane, though they are not backing down. We're talking a few good men. They're not backing down from the BB strat just yet. They're forcing BB in here, though. She is getting pummeled from all directions. Castillo is able to secure this left lane. Moonlight now forced to defend against the Tick Super, not able to get rid of the head first. And Come Here now is going to have to fight this lane against Tick. He gets outranged a little bit. He does get zoned quite a bit as well. Moonlight opting to feed a little bit of damage to Nald there, just to allow them to push into this lane. Nald is not actually able to get on the point too much. We do still see CD trailing on the right side in terms of percentage, though Nald is able to lay down control and substantially slow down a few good men, so that Chernobyl dribblers are able to take this left lane.
Last round pump by Nald. It's not really gonna do all that much. Actually, it's fine. It says he stays alive. Daryl has to fall back thanks to that Tick head. Nice super from Hero to take down Daryl. Nald finds Come Here. That's gonna be right zone in control of Chernobyl dribblers. They're almost done on the left hand side as well. Just 1% required over there. Nald is gonna be finding that just now, and now it's time for them to try to capture that right zone furthermore. They already have a solid start over there. Can they close it out, or is a few good men going to be able to just, you know, keep some more control and actually find some more control on the left-hand side as well? It's not looking too good, Reddy.
No, it is not at all. Moonlight going down to Castillo. Castillo has been just a shining star this entire game. Definitely the star player of the team of the Chernobyl dribblers in these last two games. Yeah, despite whether, you know, star player goes to Nald or or not. Castillo, though, was really able to lock down that left lane. We saw actually Rico coming out from a few good men to try and counter it, but was just not able to be present there in the same regard. We also saw Tick on the right lane, and that was giving Rico a very tough time. So perhaps I think Chernobyl dribblers, they really knew what they were doing in this set, and a few good men, unfortunately, they had the disadvantage here. They just did not have the know-how, and that is going to send us into set number 2.
Yeah, this is an interesting turn of events because, you know, Chernobyl dribblers, from what I got to watch of their semifinals match, it didn't really look like they were having, you know, too many opportunities to kind of show what they're worth. And here so far it's been completely different. They've been kind of calling the shots, whereas it felt like in the semifinals they were kind of like, you know, forced to play a certain way and just adapting. Here they are actually proactive and choosing their own path to victory here. As you can see, pretty big difference in kills. I think the damage, is that even correct? Like more than twice as much damage? That's huge.
Dude, I would attribute it to Rico on left lane, fighting people off while Chernobyl dribblers have already won the left lane, so they're not getting any extra capture from it. They're just defending the left lane while they are trying to attack the right lane, and they have a couple brawlers versus, you know, a couple other brawlers on the right lane, and it's just taking a while to get that percentage. So they're able to rack up lots of damage. Though, that is going to send us into set number 2 here on Sunny Soccer. And Teddy, I have strong feelings about Sunny Soccer. If I see Sunny Soccer in rotation, I close out of Brawl Stars, and that is enough Brawl Stars for the day. Just because I think it's a strange map, because at some points it funnels you all into one area, but at other times it tries to split you from 3 lanes into just 2 lanes. I mean, what's your take on that?
It's a bit of an interesting one. You know, the amounts of cover are definitely going to be favoring brawlers with, you know, close to medium range. That's why we see so much of that. And Trollers obviously are going to be doing really well, especially with Barley being so good in the meta right now. This is not a bad position for Chernobyl dribblers. If they can find another pick there on a few good men, they can get some better positioning once again. Hero is quite low HP, but he's able to make it out alive. And the Sandstorm, it's not going to do all that much.
Yeah, it's not going to be too effective for them, unfortunately, though. Let's take a look, like, just a step back at the comps from these teams. We see a max comp from both teams. One is the one that we're familiar with. It's the Max Sandy Gene, though from Chernobyl Dribblers, they're running the Barley and the M's, and these are two brawlers that can actually get scary good when they are paired up with Max. That's going to be our first goal going to Chernobyl Dribblers. And Chernobyl Dribblers, they have the max speed ready now, and they have the M's super. M's is not going to get the speed, but I guess she doesn't need it. She's going to pop her super whenever. Actually, Hero getting nice value, not going to be able to survive with that super. Did get nice value on the gadget, though. Unfortunately, it was not enough to completely separate her from the Gene, who was able to secure that kill. The Sandy super actually getting great value for AKZ this time. Moonlight actually looks like he's going to punch through the defense, going to get a nice, slick goal there. That is going to tie our score up at 1-1 in this game.
This is the kind of plays you expect from Lena, and he's able to make it happen here with the same kind of class. However, Chernobyl Dribblers have a good push, and that's going to be a goal from Castillo. And Chernobyl Dribblers, they close out this game.
Yeah, that definitely, you know, a fluke, I would say, getting that max past all of Chernobyl Dribblers. Not to say it was not a great play. It was a fantastic play. Just Chernobyl Dribblers, right? That was like a minor slip up for them. They were able to bounce back beautifully and to get a nice team wipe to finish things off. It looks like Chernobyl Dribblers, they're doing a really good job of working as a team and focusing on multiple targets at once, rather than just like focusing on, you know, one brawler goes against one other brawler, or, you know, one brawler is aggressive while everyone else is respawning. Something that we actually saw from a few good men, Chernobyl Dribblers, just because of their choices of brawlers, right? Because they have the Max and they have the Barley and they have the M's. M's and Barley are able to hit over walls, so that's massive for them to hit multiple targets and assist each other. I think they did have a stronger comp coming into this one. Chernobyl Dribblers, the one thing that they were missing was the Gene, and that did work pretty well for a few good men, but it just was not enough to compete, it looks like, with the M's in this case.
Yeah, I think we just like kind of had a lack of pulls. Like you know, as a Gene, it's not really a brawler that does well at anything except, and like, you know, that super that is just one of the best supers in the game, if not the best super in the game. You know, so it's a bit of a tough situation. You don't really, like, you're not going to be winning many 1v1s without your pull. You can get some nice stacks from afar, and it's going to help you find that pull. But look at this, the Gene now on Castillo, and we have a Poco double tank, or Poco tank Mortis, on the sides of a few good men. A push coming in from Nald, but he is going to be stopping that right there. I think he could have kind of gone for it, to be honest, against a Poco.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you don't really want to tank anything as a Barley, but a Poco is probably one of the few options where you can at least try to.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Something that we missed just a moment ago. Castillo had a gadget that unfortunately missed the Mortis. I think we might still be used to old Gene. We didn't see it. Chernobyl Dribblers running the Gene last time, so maybe it's not one of their more confident picks. Whoa, a nice play there. Oh no, come here. Unfortunately, bounced that one off of the box, though he's able to bring it back. Hero now getting that goal with an amazing recovery there. What a fantastic goal, Teddy. That kind of made my day, I gotta say.
Yeah, that was a good play from a few good men. Might be matched by this play from, I meant from from CD. A few good men that might match it there, but it's not quite gonna be happening. I mean, I don't love the Frank, man. I feel like Frank is so hard to find any sort of value especially. I think Frank as hero might be able to slip through here, but he's just gonna be giving them the ball. He doesn't need to either. 45 seconds left. He can kind of play it safe, play it with his teammates. They're all pushing up. He has the super, goes for the regular shot. A super shot would have gone in, but maybe a bit of a mechanical slip up over there. Nald is gonna be pushing up. He should be facing the Frank, and I don't really think that's a fight he can win, so he's just gonna back off.
Yeah, that was interesting actually. We saw the speed on Nald, and I think that is the real reason that Chernobyl Dribblers were able to defend that goal there. It's because they had the speed on Barley, who was able to get himself into position. Nero with an attempt to bounce it into the goal, or maybe a pass actually to Castillo. Nope, Daryl not able to get that one over, and we don't see Moonlight able to get that one in the goal either. That is a decisive victory in Brawl Ball, going to Chernobyl Dribblers, and this is really interesting. We saw them struggle against FA Kozaki. It looks like they were outmatched by Kozaki, but against A Few Good Men, Kazakhstan, they're looking very, very clean.
Yeah, it seems like a completely new team, if you ask me. I feel like, against Kozaki, I really felt like they were, forced to play certain things, that they were the ones that had to adapt constantly and try to switch things up. And they didn't really feel in control of the match. And here it's very much different. Every single pick works. Every single game they're playing well. It's a whole different story, and I'm all there to see it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Let's take a look at our stats from this last set. Chernobyl, I'm always tempted to call them Chernobyl Destroyers, but they're Chernobyl Dribblers. Though they did destroy in this last set, secured over half, or over twice the kills of A Few Good Men, and substantially more damage. I mean, it couldn't be clearer, Teddy. They did loads of damage. Of course, this is boosted a bit by the fact that they went against a Poco tank comp last game. They went against a Frank, and that's just loads of free damage. Though, set number 3, we're going to be moving into Snake Prairie, and it looks like our teams are already just biting at the bit. They're ready to go. Take a look at our comps. We have, it looks like more of a classic Snake Prairie comp coming out of AKZ. From Chernobyl Dribblers, though, they're not running that Rosa, they're running the Piper. So it looks like Chernobyl Dribblers, they're going to hope to get some wall break. Here comes a wall break from Chernobyl Dribblers. That is great value right there. The Piper, she really gets to shine once the wall break comes out. We actually do see the wall break imminent from Bo on the left lane. We're going to have to see Moonlight actually walk over the mines. Hopefully, I guess Chernobyl Dribblers, they are hoping that AKZ, they walk over the mines over here.
Yeah, this is how Snake Prairie is usually played. Once you get a kill, you try to destroy every single bush on that middle area, so that there's no safe passage to the other side of the map, and that you end up, having to cross that no man's land in the center. Daryl is going to be triggering that left mine. Nice dodge there from the Piper, jumping out of that Tara super. And that's going to be a bit of a waste of a super for Tara. The mine on the left-hand side does not get triggered, so maybe not the best mine placement, but honestly, it's only one choke point, and if they can, just keep one person over there, they can make sure that no one is able to get up close.
Yeah, it looks like A Few Good Men, they're not going to be able to charge up their supers. A massive pull there coming out from Chernobyl Dribblers. Looks like Anald is going to be able to stay alive. They secure all of these kills here. A mad bow. That's going to bring us to match point. We've only seen 3-0 victories today, and it looks like we will actually see it again. Chernobyl Dribblers, they have won every single game in this match so far, and I think they did really outplay A Few Good Men here. I think maybe the play of the game for me was Piper baiting out the Tara super and just supering away, not only getting wall break to establish more control for her and her team, but also wasting Tara's super. Just great value, especially because what we saw coming out from A Few Good Men is they were just waiting around Bo's totem for the entire game, right? And you know, they got Tara's super, but when you waste that, that's like pretty much the entire game wasted.
Yeah, that is true. It's a really hard map, man, and especially when you're already down to 0, it's really hard to get into this one. You know, you start off and one of your players gets sniped by the Piper from like miles away. It's just a bit of a heartbreaking way to kick things off here for A Few Good Men. But this time, once again, they are down by 3 stars and Chernobyl Dribblers. This is going to be their chance to run away with this match. Destruction from Casil on the right-hand side. Nice double pull from Nal. That's going to be a double kill to follow up from the man. And Chernobyl Dribblers winding up that lead furthermore.
Yeah, this is a bit upsetting, actually, for A Few Good Men. 0 stars under their belt, 7 stars and a blue star for Chernobyl Dribblers. Daryl setting off a mine, breaking up the bushes yet again. Come here has this pull, though. He might be able to get some value, but Nald is playing very cautiously. Not only is he sitting on a super, but he has so many stars. He cannot really afford to be killed here. Moonlight going to go down to a bow mine. That is going to be even more destruction coming out from Castillo. Just Chernobyl Dribblers, they're doing a fantastic job. They just need to sit back, not get backed all the way up. Daryl actually dodging the homemade recipe there. Daryl getting the first kill for A Few Good Men for the game. Now 3-12. We see A Few Good Men trailing by 9 stars, effectively 10 stars, since they need to grab that blue one as well. They could take it back, but they're going to need a team wipe. A nice double kill there for Nald. Going to wrap things up with that double kill at the end. That is going to be this match going to Chernobyl Dribblers in a decisive victory.
Yeah, this is quite a surprise. I mean, seeing from their previous opponents, you know, I would say that A Few Good Men maybe had the advantage that they were facing, like, you know, one of the best teams in the event, and they still played like all right. Obviously they didn't really stand a chance against them, but you know, they didn't look too bad. Here Chernobyl Dribblers really waking up, really finding their groove in this event, and finally able to make something happen out of a match. As they stay in the competition, they will be playing the decider match against the loser of the finals of today, but that's going to be on May 6th. However, for A Few Good Men Kazakhstan, it's already the end of the journey.
Yeah, unfortunate for A Few Good Men Kazakhstan. They only got 1 kill and died 13 times in that last game. I mean, and they had about a third of the damage of Chernobyl Dribblers. Definitely an upsetting way to go down, but I mean, hopefully they can take this match today, or these couple of matches they played today, and use that to help them analyze their own gameplay and assist them in future tournaments. And of course, a look overall at the match. Nice stats coming out from Chernobyl Dribblers. Looks like they did, well, twice the damage of A Few Good Men consistently. Chernobyl Dribblers, they're going to be moving on to the decider match, as Teddy said, though if we have any sort of, you know, real good educated guess or prediction relating to how AC Milan Clash versus FA Kozaki is going to turn out, I think FA Kozaki will probably go down to Clash here, and we'll see a rematch, actually, between Chernobyl Dribblers and FA Kozaki.
Yeah, you kind of caught my words that I was literally going to be saying right now. But yeah, this is just the level of synergy we have reached, you know, with the ready set, with the Teddy set rather. But
yes,
yeah,
Teddy
guys,
set.
Before we move on to the finals of the group, we first got some highlights from this match.
Welcome back, everyone, to Gamestars. We are moving into the final match of the day, and it is probably going to be the most exhilarating match of the day. It's going to be AC Milan Clash versus FA Kozaki. Both of these teams won their semi-finals matches. They're now moving on to the finals for this group today. It's Group E, and whoever wins this match has a guaranteed spot in the next stage of the Gamestars tournament. Whoever loses, though, will be dropping down to the decider match, where next week they will face off against Chernobyl Dribblers, who just brought us a pretty nice performance in the last match.
Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a really tough one for Kozaki, let's be honest. If you look at the extra experience and just overall level of play that AC Milan Clash brings to the table, you don't want to be in the shoes of Kozaki, right? It's just not something, it's not a team you really feel like facing right now, especially since, AC Milan Clash, they've had such a solid start of the year. They have so much experience in competitive, and they are in a pretty decent form at the moment as well. However, on the bright side for Kozaki, even if they were to lose this one, they would be facing Chernobyl Dribblers that, as you can see right here, they completely swept in the semifinals. So the rematch doesn't look too bad for them, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they could definitely pick this one back up after facing AC Milan Clash. AC Milan Clash, they definitely have the upper hand coming into this match. FA Kozaki, as you said, facing off against Chernobyl Dribblers, looks like, by their track record, that they did pretty well. Though, to be fair, Chernobyl Dribblers did manage to win a couple of games against them. The overall stats were still in favor of FA Kozaki by about twofold. We saw about twice the damage, twice the kills from FA Kozaki. So going off of that, let's take a look at our bans. The bans coming out, we have the ban coming from AC Milan Clash. It's going to be Bell, and then from FA Kozaki, it's going to be Stu. So usually we actually see Clash going straight for the Stu ban, but this time they're going straight for the Bell ban.
Yeah, I think this could be a bit of a confidence ban as well, or just hoping that Kozaki bans Stu. And worst case, you got Lena. He's a terrific Stu, and it's gonna be hard to face him on the Stu 1v1.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look at the stats on the brawlers here. Look at Barley, though. 5% pick rate, 51% win rate. One of the brawlers that we've seen just rocket to the top of the meta, or I guess, the top of the food chain as far as brawler interactions go. He is, still a bit slow to be picked up by these pro players, but the ones who can play him are just dominating with him. Though, of course, Sandy, Max, Gene, it's a very common comp that we have seen. It works well. If it ain't broke, as I always say, don't fix it. So, we could actually expect to see this going into set number 1. It's going to be here on Bank Shot. Then set number 2 is going to be on Canal Grand. Set number 3 on Nuts and Bolts. Set number 4, Magnetic Field. And set number 5, Ice Fort. But, we can might as well just cross out Magnetic Field and Ice Fort, because we have not made it to Game 4 yet today. It's been all complete sweeps, and AC Milan Clash, they are looking pretty good to sweep this next match.
Yeah, and they're starting off with 2 of their best game modes as well. I think if Kozaki wants to stand a chance of getting some games and sets here and there, it's really going to be starting at Nuts and Bolts, because, Brawl and Bounty, that's the favorite modes for Clash, and that's where they are also the most deadly. We see Guille VGX just chilling over there, being absolutely handsome, like always. And oh, what a cute laugh.
Guille, what a Chad, man. Yeah, but the players, they are, these are the players behind the screen, right? They got soul, they got heart, right? The best ones, the best players, right, are the people who are really enjoyable to be around too, because those are the players that do form, nice team synergies. I'll personally vouch for some of the best NA players. Like, for instance, let's say like a Mally in NA. I think, even people in EU know of Mally. He's a fun guy to be around. Like, love talking to that dude if I ever get the chance. Though, we are going to be heading into our first set and our first game, and wow, the lag walk in from Chaos. Ouch, dude. Trevor with the blank expression. This is, I think, a decisive victory for AQM here. They're running the tank comp, and they have destroyed with this before. Oh no, how far is he going to lag walk? He did get stunned by Daryl, but Trevor is going to pick up that pass right there. A decisive first win for AC Milan Clash. And okay, if I were GA, I would be laughing and smiling too, because that one was just entertaining to watch. Plain and simple, Teddy.
Yeah, a bit of a tough start for Kozaki, not that it was unexpected. Clash showing up strong with like 15 seconds game. There was absolutely ridiculous stuff there. Honestly, like, I don't really know what Kozaki were supposed to do here. It was just a really tough one. I just want to commend a Clash for being aware, even during the lag walks. IKELS was like ready to pass to his teammate if he were to get dived on by the Daryl. I just want to commend that, you know, because usually, I don't know, if I am being toxic, if I'm trolling, I'm just like assuming I already won the game. I thought for a second that Sam might find a chance. The stun doesn't quite connect, but it might still be enough here. IKELS doesn't make it work, and X joining into that defense actually clutches up.
Yeah, okay, so now I understand the bell ban though, right? Because this was, ooh, no! This happens on ladder, but not in competitive. GA gonna,
my.
And the little thumbs up just to take that, wow, the entire team stun. I mean, typically from Frank, right, he's just there to be just a health pool, right? But now he's gonna be bringing out some massive damage. He is not threatened by any sort of stun here. We do have Daryl coming out, actually going to avoid that stun right there. Sim actually going to pick up a kill. A nice pass to Sim. This is actually going to be the first goal, looks like, for FA Kozaki. The lag walk. Sim is not pleased, or, you know, are they just being friendly? Sometimes it's hard to tell, because among these top players, some of them are friends, even though they're on enemy teams. So the lag walk is not really BM. It's just having fun. Oh no! GA putting that one in with like what was that? It was like a fadeaway, putting it in the corner of the goal and walking the opposite direction to throw off Poco. That is a very fast set number one. Going to AC Milan Clash, a stellar performance for them. I understand the bell ban now, because they are going to be running tank-centric comps just to throw off the rhythm of things and, you know, really confuse FA Kozaki. Because the thing is, Clash, they can run something other than Poco double tanks and, you know, still snag an easy win. Though I think maybe they just wanted to power through this one pretty quickly and get a 15-second win like they did in game number one.
Yeah, I really like how Guy at the end was just there, like, after the lag walking from Kozaki, he was just there like, I'm having none of that. And he just like, you know what I mean? Like, he stops messing around and just like shoots it in, and he's just there like, okay, all right, next set. But yeah, only a kill difference it seems, but I don't think the kills were what made the big difference in this first set. It was more about position and about finding impactful kills, and those pretty much all went the way of Clash, except for that one goal of Kozaki where we had a nice push from the Mortis. Anyways, we're moving on to Canal Grande for our second set here. This is an interesting map as well. I always struggle, like, I genuinely think this is the map where I struggle the most to find like comps and what to play at the moment. It's kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's really hard to choose what you want to be playing, because the way the map is laid out, it's really hard, because you're not always so sure if you're going to be solo on your lane, if you're going to be 2 versus 2, 2v1, 1v2. It's really tough to say, especially when you're playing like something like Solo Power League. It's a tough map.
It's one of the ones that I struggle with most, because it's so hard to tell when to run a tank and when to run more of a comp that's similar to what FA Kozaki is running this time. IKS getting taken down. Guy staying on that Frank though, looking for a kill. Gonna waste, it looks like, all of Tick's gadgets here. Guy went down once again. We only see this match in the favor of FA Kozaki by that blue
bubble.
star.
Oh
yeah,
my
that was
God.
amazing. Oh my gosh, getting massive value off the bubble, getting the bounce back as well. Something I love, just look at Euphoro. I don't know if you've ever seen the music video for Bohemian Rhapsody, but it just looks like a floating head. The player cams are always so entertaining. But, you know, sometimes you got to be in a dark room to be in your element. This would be amazing. It would be absolutely colossal for FA Kozaki to snag a win over one of the most established teams in Brawl Stars esports, most notably in EU. iChaos trying to get another massive value bubble, but I think AQM, they're exactly where they need to be. They have the healing from Trevor. They have pressed FA Kozaki all the way up into their spawn. This is looking like a victory in the bag for AC Milan Clash.
Yeah, this is definitely a solid position from Clash. 16 stars lead. They don't even have enough stars on their head, so even if they were to all go down, they would still win this game. That's pretty much as convincing as it gets, you know, like a 20-star lead. I don't know, man. It's looking pretty tough for Kozaki.
Yeah, the other thing is like the confidence coming out of AC Milan Clash. Like, they didn't need to push in at the end, but you know they did, because why not, right? Never hurts to show off just a little bit. You know, some teams, they are here to you know, start making a name for themselves, but AC Milan Clash, they have already made a name for themselves, and they have pretty much already won the game as soon as they log on for the day. So they can just, you know, all they got to do is get on the battlefield, do their thing, and win, and move on to the next round. These first rounds for them, you know, for some of the other teams, they're quite challenging, and, you know, do not... I don't mean to downplay the difficulty of these matches and how talented the teams had to be to get to this stage, but AC Milan, they are, you know, when we talk about like the top few teams in EU of literally tens of thousands of teams, they are definitely a cut above of the rest, and you know, they just make it look easy, Teddy.
Yeah, they do. They're really the kind of stuff where you want to have a don't try this at home disclaimer, because like it looks so easy, it looks so simple, but if you do it yourself, you're gonna be there like, how are they running a Frank on Canal Grande? Why does that not work when I do it? It's because it's just some Clash magic, and we have a Shelly on Sem, and also a Poco, and also a Colette. This is the weirdest comp I've seen in a hot minute.
Wait, why is it working? We see Trevor about to go down. This is the strangest counter comp I've ever seen. This is a smart prediction actually from FA Kozaki, but I don't know if it's gonna end up working. Okay, wait, here comes Sim to eliminate Trevor, farming up that super once again. The counter, actually, they're running a complete counter comp. It's the Poco for the support, but then the two tank counters. Actually, I think FA Kozaki could be the first team to win a competitive match in Gamestars with Shelly.
That is very much possible. I mean, it's some pretty solid countering on the side of Kozaki for the least. Colette and Shelly both absolutely amazing brawlers against tanks, and that's going to be awarding them a 10-star lead. So confident pick. I feel like they might have gone for it because they saw that Clash weren't switching brawlers, which would be a very like confident move from Clash to, you know, just keep this comp like without even teasing that they would be switching brawlers or something, because that means that, you know, you can get countered pretty easily. And here we definitely have a bit of a flavor for this counter from Kozaki. It is only a 3-star difference, so things could still evolve quite a bit from here. Sam has a super, X has a super as well, but that bubble is going to be finding some nice value. Can't quite isolate any players, and so far it is still Kozaki in the lead, man. If somehow Clash turned this around, which I think they might very well do, no, it's not meant to be, and that's gonna be Kask or Kozaki taking this game home. I mean, it was a really convincing performance, but they did completely outcomp them. So it's hard to say they played so much better. They made the right decision, that's for sure, and it paid off big time.
Oh yeah, did you see Euphoro smiling at the end? I think the satisfaction of outsmarting your opponent by running the counter comp. I mean, and of course executing it well. We actually did see AC Milan Clash starting to catch up. The closest they brought it was within 3 stars, which was really just one of the brawlers from FA Kozaki. Right, they just needed to get a single kill there, but they were not able to get the Frank super back. I think that was really their ticket to securing kills. Right, they managed to get a kill on Shelly and some others with the Frank super, just because they can consistently stun Shelly and she's never able to use her super, no matter how close the enemy gets to her. So this is definitely something that AC Milan Clash is going to be adjusting for in the next game. They're probably going to run something less focused on tanks, though that seems to be their bread and butter. FA Kozaki, they managed to win this one solely on the fact that they chose the counter comp, because even with the counter comp, they did struggle towards the mid game. And I think that's a real indicator of just how strong AC Milan Clash is and how they are going to come back and win this set in the next game.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the ways to see how strong a team is when they're having a tough time, when they are getting outcomped, when they're getting countered, all that kind of stuff. And AC Milan Clash is one of those teams that has been like consistently winning despite getting outcomped, despite being in a disadvantageous position. So,
yeah,
what I would really like is to go for the super confident move from Clash and just pretend they're switching off brawlers and then play the exact same. I think that would be I think that seeing the levels of like BM and trolling they've shown today, this is something that could very much be happening.
That is it. If you could like verbalize the protesto and put it into a comp, I think like that is exactly how it would manifest, is in just running the same comp that you got countered so hard on last time and got really close. If anything, now AC Milan Clash is adjusted to deal with this. Now they know that they just have to get the Frank super out, and that is their key, right? They can't play aggro on the Shelly. The Shelly, I think maybe actually AC Milan Clash going into that last game, they thought the Shelly was coming out because FA Kozaki was surrendering. They probably thought, FA Kozaki is trolling. They know that they're already defeated, but yup, as you said, they are coming out with the exact same comp, though we actually do see FA Kozaki, they didn't switch off of the counter either. They're bringing out the B this time, and a big destroyed wall from AQM right off the bat is not going to be doing them any favors. Wow, a nice attempt there from Sim to get through. iChaos with the spin. Wow, okay, maybe this isn't friendly. Guille is appearing to feed pretty hard here. He's going to stay alive, though, but we do see FA Kozaki really clobbering AQM here over on the right side. Guille forced to stay back, and I think maybe after this one, AQM, they're going to be a little bit out of their element because they're used to being able to run this, trolly, very tanky comp and, not have to worry about what the enemy is going to run because they can just win it. But FA Kozaki, they know their opponent and they're prepared to deal with such a well-known and well-documented team as AC Milan Clash.
Yeah, I think the opening here is going to be that Gene Pool if he gets that available. Doesn't have it just yet, but that's going to be what is going to be, opening things up. That's going to be the opportunity for them to find a kill, isolate one of the players. The slow coming through, the Gene should be really close to that pool, but from that range, it's kind of hard to find the most value. He will be getting it soon enough, and combined with a max super, for example, it can be a pretty much undodgeable pool. So yeah, the pool is available now from X. We'll see how he decides to use it. Bit of an aggressive position here from Clash. We got the pull now on iChaos. He falls. X does take quite a bit of damage. Can they find a kill? No, that's going to be Kozaki taking the set against Clash. And Clash, I mean, honestly, they ran one comp for the entire match so far. I'm not entirely sure if that was the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do really like the fact that they just played it again. Kozaki were aware though, and they kept the BB, not the B, the just B, not BB, just B, just in case. And that's something I really like as well, and I think shows a lot of experience on the side of Kozaki. It's not a team that I know well, but it does show that they know what they're doing, because they were ready with at least one counter to make sure that they don't get like absolutely outcomped again, like we've seen multiple times already today. So yeah, set for Kozaki. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what to make out of this one, to be completely honest with you. Like, it is a set secured. I don't think it shows, you know, all that much potential for them coming into the next ones, because I still think that Clash are much more dominant and that they are able to close it out whenever they want. It's a bit more of a matter of like actually going a bit more seriously about it. But yeah, Nuts and Bolts is gonna be up next. Definitely one of the more classic maps. Also a map that does wonders for brawlers such as Max, such as Jean or Sandy, or even Sprout and Barley. So there's definitely a whole lot of possibilities coming onto this map of Siege.
Yeah, and another thing is that you know, we actually could see the same comp run from Clash again. I mean, if I have to make a prediction, right? I think Guille is like gonna be making a video, and it's gonna be called like the best comp in Brawl Stars, and it's gonna be like them just running that same comp in every single set and ending up winning the match. Right, that's what I predict. The other thing is, like, Clash, they don't need to worry about, you know, losing this match, because if they drop down to second place, they get less prizing, but they still move on to the next stage, so it's not really that much of a concern for them. Though, like, Clash, they are definitely capable of running other things, but I mean, at least they have the advantage of the comp that they've been running every single time being pretty strong on this map. Right, you have the Poco, you have the Frank and the BB. They're able to go around and collect the bolts. If you can stay on mid long enough, then you're looking pretty good. If Frank gets a super and is able to stun the Ike and the enemy team around the Ike, that is, you know, a free one push just off the super. So this is looking good for them if they decide to go that route. I wouldn't be too surprised by now if they did, though they also could just be getting in FA Kozaki's heads and forcing them to run something that they don't want to run.
Yeah, that is all very much on the menu. We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. It's always tough to talk comps, because in the end, it is just predictions on our end, and we will only know once we see the Shelly in game. I want to point out, Shelly might have the highest win rate in Gamestars so far, because I think she's only been picked once, and she won her game. Yeah, lowest pick rate, highest win rate. That is quite an achievement. I mean, to be honest, I think that some other brawlers might not have been picked at all. I'm thinking Primo, I'm thinking Dynamite. I'm not entirely sure if I saw any of them. Yeah? Okay, well...
Yeah, Primo got picked. Yeah, and Primo got picked by, I believe it was... Well, I mean, these matches have been going by so quickly, I don't exactly recall. I'm pretty sure it was picked by AC Milan Clash versus A Few Good Men, and they managed to take that win. They're running the same comp again. What are these mad lads thinking? I mean, they definitely have a well, no. Actually, we see the Gene getting a nice pull on iChaos. It's not going to be enough. AQM, they are going to surrender one bolt here at mid, but I mean, just the combo of Poco and a single tank is strong enough. Guille has this super ready to go. Once that bot gets in there, then is essentially a win condition for AC Milan Clash. But I mean, I would be so frustrated right now. Yeah, Guille is very well prepared. We don't see any of the members of FA Kozaki ready to go down, but that's again.
Yeah, this is
the win condition.
Yeah. That one stun with an Ike at like 60% health results in a game win for Clash. I'm kind of like at a loss of words, to be honest. I don't really know, you know. I
Dude,
don't
this
really
is-
know what's going on here from Clash. Like I do think, as you said, that they're doing video and they're just saying like, I don't know, playing a playing a $30,000 tournament, but only playing Frank.
Whoa!
Like
only
that's
only
what
playing
that's
one
what it
comp.
looks like so far.
Yeah, well, actually, because the thing is, we have seen a variation in the star power, at least. In the first game of Bounty on Canal Grand, we actually did see a speed BB, and now we see the shield BB coming out. So I guess they have given themselves that freedom, at least, though that's the only real area where I can see them adjusting their strat, is going for speed BB instead of shield, or shield instead of speed, because I personally would not be playing Poco's second gadget or Screeching Solo. And I mean, maybe if they really get in the lead, they'll pull out Power Grab. And at that point, I think I'll officially retire my career as a Brawl Stars caster and sort of analyst, because this is nothing that I could predict at all. It's just sort of a hunch that they're going to keep running this and just really try and irritate their opponent and make an impact in this next game.
Yeah, I think that some of the picks that Kozaki could go for would be, for example, Ems, that can do pretty well on the map. Even Barley, I think, could be surprisingly effective. With the sticky syrup gadget, you can really just lock down positions and obviously deal some decent damage as well. So those are two brawlers I would kind of like to see. I'm trying to think if I can think of anything else. But no, yeah, Colette works really well here as well, of course. And that's going to be kill number 1 in favor of Kozaki. They get a nice pull onto Trevor as well. Trevor repeaks in the Ike range, which is obviously not going to be working out too well. And this is going to be a tie for the first siege bot. Kozaki starting off with a bold lead.
Yep, I mean, we do see AC Milan Clash. They are running the same comp once again. I mean, what else is there to say besides that? Guille with a nice counter to the pull. Euphoro not going to get value on that. We see Poco coming back, Trevor coming with the healing, but we have the Colette for the counter, and it is going to be a real struggle to deal with. We need some supers coming in for AC Milan Clash if they want to properly be able to defend against this, frankly, very high-powered bot that will be headed their direction in just 10 seconds. They really gotta not only defend, but get mid control back. It's gonna be a real struggle for them since mid is so open. Geez, like AC Milan Clash, they are really setting up the enemy for success here by just choosing the same comp over and over. I would definitely be upset if they end up moving down to the decider match, but it's a possibility. Colette super coming in for massive damage, though a good response actually from AC Milan Clash. Not only do they have the 4-bolt lead right now, but they got a great defense. So maybe what they could do is just force themselves into the point, just onto the Ike. That's the only real way I can see them winning at this point, because they are trailing so hard by the bolt count.
Yeah, the bolts are favoring Kozaki now, and honestly, like, I'm not so sure, man. Like, I especially on my side, you know, my casting relies a lot on my game knowledge and analysis, and like, I just don't really know what to say about this. Like, it's not like a terrible comp from Clash, but it is the same one every single time, no matter the game mode, no matter the map. And I wouldn't really call Frank any good either, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like BB is a pretty meta brawler. I think Poco is pretty meta. Frank is an odd pick to go for. I feel like with something else, it could have worked out a bit better. I'm thinking, you know, maybe something like a Daryl that just has a bit more movement and, you know, to open up some of those situations where they kind of get stuck. But yeah, at this point, I'm not expecting any comp changes anymore from Clash. Probably the moment where they will decide to switch off this comp. And if they play this comp now, which is actually like risking to, like, you know, give the lead to Kozaki, I'm gonna be very confused.
Yeah, and it would be a bit disappointing too, because you know, we definitely have some Clash people watching, right? And probably a lot of them watching, hoping to see their favorite team do well. So, I mean, you know, we could see them continue to screw around and try to win with this and make something epic out of it. Though, I mean, they will be letting a bunch of people down if they lose this one just by, you know, intentionally running a poor comp that's predictable. I mean, you said it's not really a bad comp. Like, Frank isn't that great. The Poco BB is phenomenal still. BB's not, you know, where she used to be, but she's still, you know, good and playable. Though they are allowing themselves to get countered very, very hard with the wall break and with the Colette, and it's setting them up for failure. So they're gonna have to decide between winning and appeasing fans, or continuing to lose with this comp and, you know, just somehow forcing it to work. And do we see the comp adjustment? Yes, finally, the comp adjustment from AC Milan Clash. This is what we wanted to see. It's the Carl coming out, and, you know, Carl's an interesting pick here. He probably could do well against some throwers. No throwers actually, though, coming out from FA Kozaki. We just see the Jean, the Colette, and the Max. Colette coming out for the counter, but Jean and Max, of course, just like last round, it worked out pretty well. But they want to make sure that they are equipped for it if AC Milan Clash runs something different. Here comes what is going to be an excellent push, actually, from AQM. That is going to give them a solid chunk of damage on the safe. They could actually maybe just, yeah, wow. I gotta say, FA Kozaki, they let a lot of damage get on their Ike. Not gonna lose this next siege, it doesn't look like, though. So if they get a one push, they stand a really nice chance. Otherwise, they could actually struggle to win this set and close things out.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting turn of events. Kozaki gonna take siege bot number 2. It's gonna be due to, you know, the trade-off we talked about, like the compromise between taking damage on your Ike and pushing for mid control. And that really just favored Kozaki in that aspect, you know, like, at least to get middle control very early on. The problem is that Clash can do just that, and with the Sprout, they're not even taking any damage either, like barely any. So it's a very different, it's a very different stakes. However, Kozaki in control of the center, nice skill onto U4O, X is low HP as well, makes it out alive. Never mind, he falls with 2 bolts. One is gonna get picked up by Sam. We have a super coming through from the Barley for some extra damage. Trevor could maybe go for the Yashi wall. I feel like he could actually close things out here, but he is gonna remain in defense instead. Yeah, you would have
loads of damage on that safe. Yeah, Trevor with a nice defense. We have a lot of ground to pick up for FA Kozaki. It got very close to taking out that Ike. Just one more shot would have done it, though it doesn't look like there's going to be enough firepower coming out from FA Kozaki. That is going to be this set going the way of AC Milan Clash, and that is going to send us into what could be our final set if AC Milan Clash does not pull out reliable. Maybe they could come back with the Frank and the BB and the Poco, and it's not tiring, guys. I promise, it's not tiring. Ooh, like, reset. Okay, now we're back. We're gonna see that combat coming back in the next set, probably. I wouldn't doubt it, though. I mean, AC Milan Clash, they put themselves in an advantageous position. They have 2 sets to work with. They only need to win 1. This is good for them. FA Kozaki, they're gonna have to shape up and anticipate this.
Yeah, this is gonna be an important set here, as Kozaki need to win it, or it's gonna be the end for their day. They still are, you know, they still have an extra life besides this one, and I don't even mean real life. I mean that they can still play one more match, even if they were to lose this one to Clash, and that would be against a team that they swept in the semifinals. So it's not too bad of a situation for Kozaki. Clash getting, you know, a bit more comfortable. And I'm not saying that because they were, like, you know, struggling before. I'm saying that because they're allowing themselves to play some brawlers that actually work.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, I mean, we saw phenomenal plays from those brawlers. They were playing something, you know, more meta, right? We saw the Sprout, actually a spectacular defense there from Trevor. As Sprout, he was able to get one hedge and then destroy it and then get the other hedge, right? He doesn't need the Garden Mulcher, because we see that actually a lot from other Sprouts, so relying on the tankiness, even on Nuts and Bolts, because if you're running the Sprout mid, you're going to want to be able to hang out in those bushes and and do a nice job of staying alive and keeping up the pressure. So great defense there from Trevor. I mean, they really just ran meta. They just did what they did. It looked like they were pretty relaxed though, because they just went for the early mid control and allowed Trevor to defend that bot all on his own. As Sprout, right, which is besides the walls, not really a great defender. So that amount of confidence that they have in their teammate, but also they're like, come on, man, like you're not gonna let me make my video, or whatever their motivation is for running this comp every single game. They're like, okay, yep, let's wrap it up. We're finished here. It's ruined. Thanks a lot for not letting us win with our favorite assortment of brawlers, and we're just gonna win this one now. So yeah, deal with it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went down here. I'm looking forward to the interview just because of that, man. I'm genuinely looking forward to an interview at the end, just to ask what was going on there. Anyways, we are ready here for set number 4. Kozaki with some early control trade coming through as well, but Trevor with some nice shots on that B is looking to switch things up. Not gonna happen, and Kozaki so far was a bit of a better start.
Oh yeah, and I mean, this is actually looking pretty good for them, though. AC Milan Clash, they are going to lay down the control. They actually have the B out here for the tank counter. They didn't want to deal with any tank comps this time. Of course, they also have the wall break just to establish even more control. And look at that, the max speed onto Ems, one of the more dangerous comp. What? Did you see that? Guille teleported intentionally out right next to Ems, got the kill, survived on barely any health, but what a gutsy play there from Guille. Look at Trevor as well. It's hanging out right next to the teleporter. Looks like he's actually going to get punished, though. Sim still went down. This match seems to be turning in the favor now of AC Milan Clash. They know what they're doing. They just have one more wall to break. It looks like iChaos is not going to break it just yet. He's waiting to maybe get some value. iChaos is going to get a fat super going off. Wow, and taking that kill on X with the silver bullet. Looking very good for AC Milan Clash from where I stand right now, Teddy.
Yeah, they have twice the capture time now that Kozaki has, which is even more impressive when you think, that Kozaki started off much better into this game. It is going to be match point, though, for Clash. They are one win away from going to the next round and dropping Kozaki to the decider match. I mean, to be honest, Clash just, there's not really much that Kozaki can do. I don't think they're playing badly at all. I just feel like, Clash has kind of been playing around with them so far, and even then, they were still winning. You know what I'm saying? It's not even like they were really losing or anything. They did drop a set, because of the comp they were playing, and a couple of games as well. But overall, I feel like Clash should be able to close out here, unless they go back to the Poco Frank BB comp.
Yeah, if they do that, it's going to be a struggle for them, especially if they have to face up against the Ems and the Max combination, because they have nothing that can deal with Ems at range. So they're going to have to play, pretty smartly. I think, they dealt with that in previous games. They dealt with it in Brawl Ball, and they were able to keep their distance, and so, it wasn't as big of a struggle. They were able to keep their distance because they were playing a Brawl Ball map that was, considerably more closed in than, I guess, your average Brawl Ball map. So I guess, yeah, that was the advantage they were playing at there. This time, though, yeah, they can't really afford that. AC Milan Clash, they could go out with a bang, so maybe pull out the Shelly just to screw with the Shelly win rate. I mean, they are at an advantageous position. They can afford to drop a game in the set if they're going to troll, because, I mean, going in, they were the ones who were going to win, unless they decided not to. So we'll just see if they decided not to. Yep, they are bringing it out. We have FA Kozaki now with the M's still for the counter, but looks like AC Milan Clash, they're going to be making use of those teleporters to handle this one as best as possible.
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss of word at this point, to be completely honest with you. My brain just like was there like, oh well, I saw it coming from quite far away, but I was secretly hoping to see some regular stuff. However, they're not starting off too badly. They're finding some pretty nice value. Gie was the kill onto Sam. He finds another one there on U4O as well. And I don't know, maybe it is actually gonna be possible here for Clash to close things out. Oh, a nice super from Gie, just barely doesn't find a connection. Kills, gets melted down as well. He does find a nice tag, follow-up kill, and an extra bubble shot. Oof, almost another tap there onto Sam. But so far, you know, even though kills-wise, I don't think it's that big of a difference. It's Clash that is in the zone. They are the one capturing some percentages, and they only need 10% more to be done for today and to move on to the next stage of Gamestars League, and they are gonna be doing just that. Clash was an interesting performance throughout this match against Kozaki. Move on to the next stage. Kozaki is gonna be dropping down to the bottom bracket, to the elimination bracket, where they will be facing who was it again? Ready, set,
they're gonna be facing Chernobyl dribblers.
Yeah, Chernobyl dribblers, that is correct. So a rematch, as we talked about earlier, since they played in the semifinals as well, so a bit of an interesting one. We'll find out if it's gonna be a revenge story or just Kozaki doubling down on their domination on May 6th. That's when we will be playing our decider matches. So congrats to Clash for moving on to the next stage. We'll have an interview in a bit with one of the players. I mean, this is looking good for Clash. You know, I mean, like, they are in a good shape at the moment. I think that it's also nice to a certain extent to see them having some fun and just, you know, I mean, like, this is very early in the tournament. They can afford to go for those kind of crazy comps and just troll around a bit, just have some fun. I respect that. I don't think, you know, it's the most fun for Kozaki either, because it kind of means that for them this was a really nice practice opportunity, and having to face the same troll comp over and over again is not really going to be helping out for that. But yeah, if you look stats wise, it's pretty close, but once again, look at the damage. Actually, it's 50% more for Kozaki, because they were facing the poker double tank every single game, so obviously finding so much damage. I wonder if we could see the heals, man. That would be an absolutely unbelievable amount as well. But yeah, with that being said, Clash just pretty solid overall. Were they playing this comp in match 1 as well?
They did not. They didn't do something like this in match 1, which was like pretty strange, though. I mean, they are just looking to make a statement on the finals. It looks like we almost actually got enough damage from Kozaki to roll over the 1 million mark. I'm interested to see how the graphic would handle that one. Pretty soon, though, Teddy, we got an interview actually with none other than Gie VGX, one of the players.
It seems like we're going to be interviewing Roll instead. He is the coach.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so we got an interview with AQM Roll very soon. I think that is ready, so let's move on to that. Well, take a look at some of the highlights from this match before, of course, we get on to that interview. Just some of the fantastic moments from this match. We see Sim. This was the beginning of the end of the comp that we saw AQM running it the entire time. I mean, I would definitely have been happy if I were FA Kozaki, knowing how to outplay the opponent at this stage. It looks like they figured actually that Ikium was going to give up on the tank comp in Hot Zone, but they did get a bit outsmarted in the end. The comp from AQM just proved to be too strong in certain modes. It didn't work out so well for them actually in Bounty, except for that first game, except they did get countered. But it seems that that's really the only thing that can defeat AQM is just a hard counter and you know, just not having as serious of a mindset, because I mean, let's face it, these guys, they definitely do play to win, but they were going into this one knowing that they were gonna win, so they were just taking it easy, man. Just like, okay, we're just gonna get this out of the way and move on with our day, Teddy.
I love how our mindsets are kind of trying to like rationalize this match and try to find some like analytical takeaways. But yeah, that's obviously really tough on this one. We have our interview with the coach of Clash, that is Roll. We should be ready and all set up for that. All right, what's up, Roll? Congratulations for your win. Before you say anything, I have a question that's just 4 words. Poco, BB, Frank, why?
Okay. Well, this week we have played like every day 3 or 2 scrims per day. So we are like really boring of the actual meta, and we have prepared like a lot of composition and strategies for this weekend that we're going to play the qualifier. So we don't want to show anything to our opponents. Like there are right now a lot of analysts and a lot of people that are watching this. So we were thinking like, what is a good comp that we can play in a lot of maps, and we know how to play it, because Frank, DJ have a really good Frank, Chaos with BB and Trevor with Poco. So this is why we were playing that comp.
All right, so it was deeper than we thought. I kind of considered that this could be an option. I wasn't too sure either, because obviously, you know, the opponents were not at your level. But anywho, I mean, it doesn't take anything away from your win. I think the players probably had a lot of fun playing that as well, right?
Yeah, they had a lot of fun. In one moment, like, they were laughing because someone said a silly thing, and they were like, wait, we need to play, stop laughing, because if not, we're going to lose. Because our opponents in the finals, they were not as bad as we thought. They were better. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something that's a bit reoccurring, especially from us, you know, coming from EU. We kind of expect some of those teams coming from smaller countries where there is not quite as big of a competitive scene to kind of struggle. And honestly, I've been surprised. Have you had a chance to give a look at some of those smaller teams as well?
Well, I really like to see all the competitive in a lot of places. Like, I always look the ESL Benelux or the competition that are playing in China or in Latam. But I didn't know anything about that teams, because the only thing that they can play, I think, is that competition, and I don't know, perhaps one more. And I haven't looked about these teams, so it's the first time that I know from them.
All right, well, that's very useful. Thank you very much. Yeah, Ready Set, do you have any further questions for our guest Roll?
No questions, just Roll. Congratulations. Y'all did a phenomenal job. Completely blew us out of the water. I mean, we were not expecting such an entertaining show with these, frankly, no pun intended, interesting comps that y'all brought to the table today. So once more, congratulations.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Right. Well, that was. Oh, who's leading? Who's leading, Teddy?
It's fine. It's the delay. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you are from North America. I'm from Europe, so there's a bit of delay sometimes, and it makes it pretty tough. But hopefully, soon enough, we can, you know, cast from the same room. That would be pretty exciting. Anyhow, guys, this is gonna be the end for today's matches. That concludes Group E, if I recall correctly. After, you know, a bit of an interesting day, we had some interesting comp, we had some interesting teams, and they will be moving on, or at least some of them to keep playing in the competition. With that being said, guys, we will be live again, I believe, not this week, but the week after on Monday again. And yeah, same place, same time, if I am correct. With that being said, guys, have a wonderful weekend and good luck, everyone, in the monthly qualifiers.